think that I just come in there and look for knockouts, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, wait, I'm here. Who wants to fight with me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
Demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. It's sleep week. It's fight week. You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait, man. With all of us fans and Devin Haney gonna get the best sleep of our lives post-fight Saturday night. I'm just excited, man. It seemed like a long time coming, and I was gonna come out and do something yesterday, but we'll roll up what I had planned for yesterday. I just saw some snakes in the grass, you know what I'm saying? I had to have that ass. So I just wanted to do a check yesterday, and it made me sit back and think, and I'm like, really? One thing about this YouTube shit, I don't start a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? But I will finish it. Definitely. Cookie Monster say, mic check, 1 2 1 2, sounding extraordinary. I appreciate that. AC in the building. Salute.
Salute, Bodywork. It's good, bro.
But I'm gonna roll in a little bit. I'll put it in there with the housekeeping a little bit. Was some of the stuff from yesterday. Got a whole new show today, but we can still incorporate some of the concepts from yesterday. No harm, no foul. And probably gonna step on some toes, but you know how Bodywork is. I still gotta put stakes in the ground. I still gotta be me and do my thing. So let's get into it, man. With the housekeeping. Okay, let's see. First order of business. Fabio Worley elevated to the WBO heavyweight champ. So apparently Usyk vacated, and so now Fabio Worley was elevated. I doubt that we will hear some I'm doubting that we will hear some email champ stories and all of that on this one. But I'm happy for Fabio Worley, man. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Because if you think about it, that's how Montestanonis got his belt, and he held his title until he attempted to unify against Jaron Ennis. That's how Jaron Ennis got his title. That's Brian Norman had to fight, but then again, that's how he got his title. So I'm sure some people that hate the people from the UK gonna talk about that and try to run around acting like it was been some grave injustice. But pretty much everybody who got a belt once Jermell Charlo jumped in the ring with Canelo Alvarez, that's how they all got their belt. So unless we're gonna hear a whole bunch of pieces going back over all of that, it's nothing really to talk about other than Fabio Worley is now recognized as a heavyweight champ. And considering that Joseph Parker was on that Tony Montana, what else can we say? you know, but he solidified himself. Let me give y'all a prime example of a camp gaslighting the fans, and this is something that I wanted to go over. Been a couple of days now, but it's something that I wanted to actually go over because I say a lot of things on the channel, and I really just be putting a stake in the ground. I'm gonna put some stakes in the ground today too, that might offend some people. You know, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? But this is how the channel goes, and this is what I do on this channel, just so we all know where we going. Because a lot of people are always critical of a lot of other people, and whenever I hear shit like that, it made me go get my flashlight. You know, it made me start pulling out my tools. And I started doing research, and I started figuring out, okay, well, hold on, let me look at this. Let me make sure this is right and example. Let me put this on the scale. Let me weigh this, because we want to know the height, the depth, the breadth, the width, the buoyancy, the capacity, the volume. So we measure. We put everything on the scale and we look it up. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I had to do. But no further ado, let me get into this piece right here. And I'm gonna claim fair use. Because I say this dude is the gift. Him and Tim Bradley, I say is the gift that keeps on giving. You know what I'm saying? So just to protect myself at all times, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. So this is going to be a little bit of criticism. This is going to be commenting. This is going to be teaching you. And as far as gaslighting, this is going to be a little bit of scholarship. So let me break it down for y'all. Let me paint this picture, because I got to be surgical with this shit, Jake. I'm surgical with this shit, man. Let me tell y'all what gaslighting is. The practice of psychologically manipulating someone into questioning their own sanity, memory, or powers of reasoning. They try to do that to me all the time. Try to make me question my powers of reasoning, my sanity, and my memory. Because I know I'll be on to some shit, but I'm like, okay, cool. Fall back, Mike. It ain't that serious. And it don't really be that serious. But this is the dead era where you got to put stakes in the ground. You got to have a benchmark. You got to have an episode where people can go back and be like, you know what, he did. Oh, yeah, okay, I remember that. Okay, so now this is how he looks at it. So when I say certain things, you don't look at me like, you know, I got a second head growing out of my neck. But I'm going to play this. Let me get rid of this real quick. Take that down. Then I'm going to get this clear zip. Well, listen to this, y'all. This is gaslighting, right? This is gaslighting. This is what I mean by gaslighting. Listen.
Or so-called rush Virgil because of
Hold on.
they didn't want to rush Virgil, or so-called rush Virgil because of who was in the division. And you know who was in the division at 47, and then you know who was in the division at 54. So they was trying to protect him. And I understand a little bit, but then again, if he is everything you say he is, then pop his chain. You know what I'm saying? But they know he not like that. They know he can fight, but he ain't no super monster. No.
They know he ain't like that. He ain't no super monster. I told y'all, when the voice inflect like that, that means, you know what I'm saying, that's the emphasis. That shows or indicates a change in emotion. So let's go back. Let me take it back a little bit so we can fully understand what he's saying here. Because this is the same thing I be saying. If he is what he say is, but I be gaslight when I be saying, I be hating when I be saying the same thing about their guy. But he's saying this about another guy. This is what I be talking about. Listen to this.
They didn't want to rush Virgil, or so-called rush Virgil because of who was in the division. And you know who was in the
So they didn't want to rush Boots because they knew who was in the division. You knew who was in the division at 47. You knew who was in the division at 47. That was Earl Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford. And now we know who in the division at 54. So we can say the same thing. That's why I be trying to say the gift that keeps on giving, goddammit. Keeps on giving.
they didn't want to rush Virgil, or so-called Rest Virgil because of who was in the division. And you know who was in the division at 47, and then you know who was in the division at 54. So they were trying to protect him. And I understand a little bit, but then again, if he is everything you say he is, then pop has changed. You know what I'm saying? But they know he not like that. They know he can fight, but he ain't no super monster. No. It's all perception. If I put you in middle, if I get you the right opponents, people gonna start saying middle, top 10 in the world. If I get you the right opponents, that's all I gotta do. Get you the right opponents.
If I get you the right opponent, people gonna say you the next pound for pound number one. All I gotta do is get you the right opponents. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's bodywork language. That's not what Greg said. Greg was saying, if I get you the right opponents, they're gonna say you top 10. Same deal, but keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Keep listening.
And that's what Golden Boy has been able to provide. But now it's
And that's what Matchroom is able to provide.
we gotta fight. Now it's okay, it's time to really fight. So now we gotta be super strategic, and we're gonna start looking for one-legged dogs and put them in.
So now we gotta be super strategic. So we gotta look for the Uis Malimas of the world to put them in there with.
When you say one-legged dogs, on the ends. So Erickson Lubin being stopped a couple of times before that, you would equate him to that two-legged dog. Okay. I'm trying to think who else we fight. East Maliasis was stopped by Terrence Crawford. Two-legged dog. Maurice Hooker was stopped by Jose Ramirez. No legs, too small. I'm trying to think. Maurice Hooker was 140 pounds.
Whoa, he was a what? Maurice Hooker was a what? 140 pounder. What? Maurice Hooker was a too small? 140 pounds. Like where did he make his living? What was Sergey Lipin at? What was all these guys that was 140s moving up? Like what?
Tall, skinny frame. Had no business in there with a virgin.
Had no business in there with Boots. Most of the people that get in there with Boots have no business in there with Boots. That's what I mean when I be saying camps, man, like camps, man. That's why it's like, if to a certain extent, man, like if you one of them people that come out with recent events, current times and dates and stuff like that, and keep us abreast of what's going on with the fighter, other than keeping us abreast, like what they got going on or what you seeing, like other than stuff like that, like, yeah, I rock with you. Like I'll go to a specific camp, you know what I'm saying, to hear about, okay, what's going on with this person and what they got going on, like at this present time. Are they active? Are they looking to get back in the ring? All that kind of stuff. But when it come down to the breakdown, like I'm telling you, most of the camps, you can't, like for that boxer in specific, you can't go to them for that boxer in specific, and you can't go to that camp about anybody that's on the ops. So like right now, they're actually doing interviews with people like Lamana, who was once sparred with Brian Norman and getting his take, where he's actually in there saying that Brian Norman was too slow and all this. Like, this is all they do. So I want y'all to put this in your rucksack and march on with this. You can't go to them about anything specific to their guy unless it's like upcoming events, like shit that's binary, shit that don't have no real opinion in it, stuff like dates, times, you know what I'm saying, stuff that's like hard body, like that you can't really know, it don't require no opinion, you know what I'm saying. And you can't go to them for anything concerning anybody that's considered an op. So you can't go to them asking them nothing about Brian Norman, because they still looking at them like an op, even though they're not in the same weight class no more. It ain't no reason why they keep doing it, even though they cry, bitch, and moan every time they hear Senior come out and say anything about anything that got to go on with Boots. You know what I'm saying? So I had to address that. That's an example. That's a prime example of gaslighting. And I say he the gift to keep on giving, because they contradict themselves all the time. Like if Maurice Hooker didn't have no business being in there with Virgil when they was at 147 moving up, that means we got to discount what, 30% of Boots' resume at 140, even though we know Boots is a great talent. But this is what I be trying to say. They can cast stones, and most of these people, they can dish it, but they can't take it. The minute you start really poking and picking apart the shit that they be saying, they start looking all crazy and sounding all sad. That was the first one. That's the first part. Andre Durrell says it was bad timing for Eubanks to choose Bomac. Oh man, yeah. He said it was the wrong time. And I was questioning whether or not, because Eubanks beat him the first time. I'm like, well, what was the need for the switch and all that? And we see the results. And I know a lot of people, I mean, it's crazy because you'll have Durrell, he'll be talking to Andre Ward. Andre Ward is close to them guys and all that. But it was something that I said all the time when I was asking, are these guys overrated? Because I noticed that they are very critical over other people's resumes, like who they fight. Other people fight are saying people ain't shit, they ain't worthy, they ain't this, they ain't that. Especially like when it come down to giving people credit for like a Jamel Charlo and the undisputed run that he got, you know, especially when it came down to the coaching, like of Derrick James and what he got. Especially like when all of his guys from Ryan to Frank Martin to Errol Spence, Derrick James took a lot of heat. He caught a lot of flack, and they like a lot of people was putting it on him. They like, so when they couldn't put it on him, they were just shitting on the fighter themselves. So I had to look, and I'm like, well, do he have a point? Was it bad timing or was it just a bad move in general? Who knows? He used to lace him up. So I guess we would default, just like everybody would just default to whatever Tim Bradley say, even though a lot of the times he's wrong. You know, even though he's a Hall of Famer, he be wrong, especially when it comes down to predictions. And some of his takes be off. You know what I'm saying? He do a lot of things and say a lot of things just for sensationalism. So when you go head to head with some of the things that he be saying, you know, you'll find yourself like, ooh, I don't know. So I would default to what Durrell said, but this is something I asked before. This is something I asked once I seen, I think it was when I seen Avius Griffin. When I seen Avius Griffin take that, when I seen him, you know, in that fight he was in on the Jake Paul fight, I came out and I did a video. Because all year we was bumping heads with a certain group of people. And we were saying, damn. And I was just like, man, I always do this. I say, man, damn, is this dude overrated or is Bud just that special? Because people say it when it come down the tank, they be like, oh, they be shitting all on Coach Calvin and Coach Kenny, like they ain't got some kind of secret sauce, or like it's just them. Because when their fighters lose, like when Truck lose or when Mia lose, you know what I'm saying? And then Tank, he don't get no credit. They say he ain't shit. But I noticed that that coaching staff, they catch a whole lot of flack. So I'm like, okay, well, let's take this same principle and let's apply it to some other people. So I had to look at Bomac for this year. Bomac, 2025, a closer look. In January, he had so-called Nelson against Pacheco. He lost with a UD. He lost with a UD. He had, in June, he had Keyshawn. He had a debacle with Keyshawn and him blowing weight and him leaving. Then he had Kelvin against Albright. He lost. Then he had Obvious Griffin against Hammerhand Rodriguez. He lost. KO. Then in September, So-Called came back. And he had Raiko Santana. TKO. Lost. Then he had Bud versus Nello. Bud wound up winning. Unanimous decision. Then he had Lester Martinez and Christian and Billy. That was a draw. And then recently we just seen Eubanks and Conor Ben, where Eubanks won the first one and he lost. Unanimous decision on this one. I asked this question. I knew somebody wasn't gonna be here that long. I knew that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, but I would, you know, I'm gonna afford the link. I will afford you the link, brother. But I said, dare I say, are they overrated? Is Bud just that special? You know what I'm saying? But that's the track record for 2025. And then the Army, you know what they used to say in the Army, man, especially when we was in air assault and you had to fix your seat, your little strap that you got to repel from, your little gear that you got to, they say it's tight, but it's right. So we gotta look and we gotta ask. That's why I say, man, you always gotta use a certain level of respect when you're talking about other fighters and other coaches and all of that stuff. Because when that microscope get put on you and your people, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be doing the 100-yard, 100-meter dash. You know what I'm saying? Running for the hills and the fences. You know, because it's easy to be overcritical of everybody else, but when somebody slide that flashlight your way, you got to stand on everything that you say. Every blood clot team, you know what I'm saying? Every blood clot team, you know, because it's going to come up, man. And somebody's going to be critical of y'all, you, your squad, everything y'all got going on too. So when it come down to all that bullshit, knock it off. Knock it off. Yeah. Melazar, Konseba. Salute, Melazar.
But for me, I had to take a quick phone call, so I had to mute up and stuff like that. I missed some of what you was cooking on, but at the end of the day, I feel like this. Every gym, every legendary trainer, every legendary coach or whatever, it's very hard and, in my opinion, damn near impossible to build a regimen that produces, let's just say, a Cesar Chavez every fighter you get your hands on. Every fighter that comes out of B&B, they're all not going to be Terrence Crawford. Every fighter that Angelo Dundee had, they all weren't Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard. You feel what I'm saying? If you can put together a good string of champions, you feel what I'm saying, that may become unified and or even multi-division, hang your hat on that part. You feel what I'm saying? Don't get too big for your britches, because throughout history, even though we're talking about these legendary gyms, it's still hung up, their reputation and the legendary status still hung on 3 or less fighters that they had during the duration of their gym. You feel what I'm saying? Some gyms just are good at producing what we might call a low-level champion. Yeah, you're a champion, but you can't never cross over into that elite status. But the gym is good for producing champions. When these champions are made, maybe they need to go and figure out, training with somebody else. You feel what I'm saying? Not every situation works for everybody. And you see that sometimes even in the UFC and mixed martial arts. There are a couple of gyms out there that just, you are a regular member of that gym, you pretty much gonna go really, really far. But if you're not and you're dibbling, dabbling, you'll get a belt, or you may become intern. But once you get to one of those elite fighters that has a real connection to that particular gym right there, they have all of that stuff at their disposal. So they're gonna beat you no matter where you want to take the fight. You feel what I'm saying? Sometimes with training somebody, you kind of may get, especially when you have a once in a generation or once in a lifetime type of athlete, you may start to look at other people through those goggles and say, yeah, I think I see some traits, I think we can make him into that. And then there's the hype around it without building that fighter the same way you did this fighter. And I think across the board, we see shit like that with great fighters who try to become trainers, and trainers who just had lightning in a bottle, and now they're trying to push everybody, like that. And you could say the same thing for Floyd Mayweather's gym, where everyone wanted to come out of there, and we thought they was all going to be on the level of either Floyd Mayweather or Tank Davis.
So, hey, Body, you wasn't sending no shots at me, was you, when you said somebody wasn't gonna be here too long?
I knew you wasn't gonna be here too long.
No, it's just let me just public service announcement. When people either say something about B&B or the gym, I feel like I have to leave, because every time I say something or every time I come out and I try to defend the gym, it's, oh, my feelings hurt. Oh, he acting like a girl. You know what I mean? So that's the only real reason for why I left. But to be real with you, I'm gonna just put it to y'all like this: y'all making it sound like the coaches go in there and fight for the fighters. That ain't the case at all. You know what I mean? When fighters lose, fighters lose. It's the fighters' fault. So you can't sit here and talk about anybody being overrated or anything like that. I just look at it like your coaches can't fight for you. Your coaches can only do so much, and it's all up to you and how you go out there and perform. You know what I mean? But again, I'm not offended. I don't feel no way. It's just, I don't know. I don't like to entertain this kind of stuff only because people make it seem like when you defend your gym or when you say something about your gym, they make it seem like, oh, he's soft, he can't accept criticism, whoopie woo. No, we definitely can. We definitely
Nah,
can
but you
accept
know where you
criticism
at.
this way,
You
but
know where we at. We don't rock like that. So you know, we
yeah,
wouldn't.
nah.
So
But yeah, no, I'm not saying that you would just say or do anything, but I'm just saying like, no, I just don't be entertaining that kind of stuff. That's all it is. It's just I just keep my nose out of that. That's just all it is. Just due
that's
to the
good.
simple fact, because people look at it like certain fighters or certain motherfuckers can't take criticism, or I don't care what people say about me, because at the end of the day, I'm the one that's in the ring. You know what I mean? I could take my criticism all day long. I'm never offended. Actually, sometimes criticism is more helpful than anything. Some people just look at it in a bad way and can't accept it. But me, I'm cool with accepting it because I know who Trey Williams is more than anybody do. Just like Chris Eubank Jr. know who he is more than anybody do. So again, like I already kind of knew like there was a couple people that was gonna come out and try to say, oh, Bomac only got one good fighter or Bomac this, Bomac that. But truth be told, y'all putting all the fighters on the same pedestal as Bud, and that's the reason for why y'all feel like the gym is overrated, because y'all expect us to perform or be at the same level as him. You know, and everybody their own person, everybody their own, fighter. Everybody got their own style. Everybody gonna fight their own way, and it's up to the fighter to make
I
that.
personally don't feel like that.
Yeah,
I
me
know
neither.
how it is because my example is even though I like Tank and all of that, I still picked Jahai Tucker to beat Lorenzo Truck Simpson, but I looked at it with all things being considered, like I always do. Where I look at like, okay, is he
I
having
mean,
a
a
fat
lot of
camp?
us
Is
should
he
have
in shape?
a
Is
lot of us
he
should have had Jahai Tucker over Lorenzo though. Like when you really think about it, Jahai Tucker can box for real. Lorenzo can too. I'm not saying he can't, but stylistically speaking, if you know boxing, you should know Jahai Tucker is going to beat him. Ain't no damn truck got enough to beat Jahai, bro. He don't got no angle punches. He don't move his head off the line. Like, come on, bro.
but it was a lot of people that was like just because they ride with
Oh
that
yeah,
gym,
they crazy. No, I understand
So
what you mean, but
you
yeah.
know that's what
Here,
I'm saying. So
here's,
I speak for myself. This is my channel, so I'm speaking for myself. Like
yeah, and
so
that
I'm making the example of how I look at things. Just because I'm tight with somebody or whatever, I don't. You know what I'm saying? I consider everything. That's why this channel do a lot of things where we cater to the underdog, or we cater and put out things for boxers who not getting the attention they deserve. And we stick up, like all of the times I stuck up for Richardson Hitches, or like when Subriel Matias when he was being ducked.
Oh yeah,
And
nobody not saying you
so
don't do that. Nobody not saying you
yeah,
don't do that. And
so
I'm not saying you doing anything at all, but I'm just letting y'all know, like me personally, that's why I don't address certain stuff, because that's what it's looked upon as, oh, he's a hoe, he's
yeah, but
soft, he can't
no,
accept
no, here,
criticism.
but boom, here, please address it because you have the inside voice to that gym. You're there. You feel
But
what
yeah, I
I'm saying?
basically
So
yeah, no, for sure.
there
I
is
agree
a
with you.
certain level of respect that that's just given and earned because you're sweating in that gym, you're
Right,
bleeding in that gym. You
but
feel
we
what I'm saying? But overall, when you look at the whole, all I'm saying is what I'm saying is when you look at the landscape of every gym that ever exists, every gym that existed, every great coach, every legendary coach, at the end of the day, you don't always get a special specimen. And some gyms are known for just putting out great champions, and these champions may be low level fighters. But for a gym to come across a special specimen like a Ali, like a Ray Leonard, like a Hagler, like a Bud Crawford, you feel what I'm saying? These type of things then put like, whoa, they put the spotlight on that gym because everybody's like, yeah, guess where he fights at? He fights at a B&B. You feel what I'm saying? So that type of criticism is just gonna come naturally. They're gonna be the natural haters, and then they're gonna
I'm not
be the
saying
people,
that though.
and then they're gonna be the people that are in the middle, and then they're gonna be the people that favor the gym, but say, you know what? Yeah, they got a lot of great talent. You feel what I'm saying? But like every other gym, they go through their rut, and it's not the gym, it's the fighters. We don't know the commitment that the fighters got to these excellent coaches trying to put into them. If they don't have that commitment and they get in a ring and get that ass kicked, you feel what I'm saying? That's that fighter. But where does that fighter fight? And then naturally, we're just gonna say naturally, just like we seen in every other thing. Now that we got Redman out here trying to defend why he left Caleb Plant, we got what's the name, Malik Scott defending why he left Wilder, because ultimately it's gonna come to the fighter, but then the fighter's gonna say
I
it's
was
the
gonna
coach.
touch on that.
And then it's gonna say it's the coach because it happens with the basketball team. See, nah, they got that bullshit coach over there. You ain't coaching. And it's not the coach, it's the fucking players. If you can't follow the game plan, that's your fucking fault.
Exactly. And that's what I was trying to break it down to and say that sometimes you can't, but that's why I was agreeing with you and saying, but that's why I was trying to break it down to say that you can't put the same fighter, you can't put me on Bud pedestal. You can't put me on Chris Eubank pedestal either. You can only put me on Boom Boom's pedestal.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But even though, yes, my trainers are Bomac, so-and-so, and so-and-so, okay, cool. But again, I'm not Chris Eubank and I'm not Terrence Crawford. I'm Trey Williams, and it's all on me and what I'm going to do when I get in that ring.
Yeah. Will you be the next Terrence Crawford like? Nobody will ever be Terrence Crawford coming out of B&B again. But
yeah, because I don't like people saying that, man. I'm the next Trey Williams, man, and I'm gonna show people how great I am. Like, I respect Bud and everything he did, but I'm trying to be better than that. I'm trying to climb six undisputed divisions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I mean that's why it's like, bro, we want your opinion, because if there is nobody saying what you just said right there, which is hella important. It's like, listen, I respect Terrence Crawford. I'm in the gym, everything else, but honestly, after I've seen how he did it, I think I could do it even better.
Yeah, bro. Like, I'm after more.
That's what we look for, and that's the type of attitude that the fans and even some naysayers will be like, yeah, y'all could say what you want, but there's a couple of dudes in there that actually talking about, yeah, they want to do things a little bit different and be a little bit better than that, man. So, yo, listen, give them niggas their energy, give them they respect, and you know, just how they do.
And hey, and I just want to say this too. Yeah, no, I wasn't saying that this channel specifically is out here to attack anybody or anything like that. I'm saying that certain channels, you say I'm not gonna say no names, but you will call in on a certain show, and then you will try to say something about, no, so doing this and that. Oh, he pussy, he soft, he can't take the criticism. He in his, you know what I'm saying? Niggas just tired of that, man. So it's like, damn, is it even worth defending it at this point, or is it even worth saying something? Because all I'm gonna get out of it is I'm a crybaby, or I'm a whatever. So. Yeah. Oh, no,
nah, but you just keep your battles nowadays. You know your people. You know what I'm saying. Stand your ground on what you know. But yeah. I'm doing content because this is what I do. So
no, you're good.
It's not something that we gonna stick to. You know what I'm saying. Yeah. We gonna move on.
Hey, I just wanted to put that out there though. This is one of the best panels and channels you're gonna come across. So. Don't look at our situation like, oh, whoop-de-whoop. Nah, that's big boys around here. So that's how we do it.
Nah, but that's maturity. I like how you took it. You could have stayed gone and been mad, but you didn't. So you solid. You know what I'm saying? But this,
man, you my guy, Body. You my guy, man. I can't be. You feel me?
but look at this. This is what I had yesterday, right? But yesterday I did a little test where I said I was gonna go live around. It was a little bit after 7. And like 10 minutes later, somebody that be coming through here, he went live at 7 at like 8 minutes before I was getting ready to go live. And then somebody else who I thought everything was good, they wound up going live 2 minutes before I went live. And I'm like, that ain't even my regular time. That's how I know people be on some fuck shit. So I sat back, I said, I don't want to go live with an attitude. So I said I
Right.
scrapped the show yesterday because I normally go at 9:15, but this portion I'm getting ready to get into was the show from yesterday, and I'm gonna go through this almost like an extended house cleaning because a lot of this already been cooked on, and nothing really I'm really gonna say is gonna be too much different than what everybody been saying. We all know that Conor Ben beat Chris Eubank, but
Hey, can I kind of touch on it?
yeah, I'm getting into it. Hold on.
All right, bet.
But from my perspective, and the reason why I didn't like it, this goes back to the first one. I did not like it because of the clause. Like I didn't like it because of the clause. Like Chris Eubank couldn't be himself. So the first fight, this was the problem I had. The first fight where when I figured out that he had the he couldn't rehydrate but a certain much. I'm like, so now y'all really, this is like some real gladiator shit. Like when Buddy took and he stabbed my man up under the armor before the fight even started, and we didn't, like, the public, the auditorium didn't know that one gladiator was fighting where he already got stabbed up under his armor, so he was already weak, you know. And this goes back to the first one. Now he edged it. He won the first one, you know what I'm saying, like pretty clear in my opinion. But the second one, it looked even worse. And it came down to a point to where I was just like, man, they're gonna keep pushing this envelope. Salute his twin. She say Bodywork. But I said they were gonna keep pushing this envelope until they was gonna get the verdict that they wanted to get. And for me personally, when he came out to that 50, and I get it, because that's one of the most iconic walkouts. That's one of the most iconic walkouts that you can have, especially a current 50 walking you out over there. And they played the "I whoop your head, boy." You know, I was looking. I said, man, I was like, you gotta win this now. Like, I was like, you just added a lot of pressure. And he was going down. He had the grill on his face and everything. I said, man, that's a lot of pressure. And I only get that with certain walkouts because it's like so much energy get put into the walkout and the pre-festivities and all that. I'd be like, damn, I hope they focus, man, because you can't lose once this happens. You can't. You know what I'm saying? So I asked this question. I said, is Conor Ben truly a force in the game? And I'll say this. I honestly can't say. I honestly can't say he is. Why? Because I used to be a heavy Conor Ben fan, and he looked totally different they say it wasn't an egg situation, but I'm gonna say pre-egg situation and post-egg situation. He looked totally different. Conor Ben used to really be a monster. He's one of the fighters in my intro and everything. Like, I had to take him out like after that, and he's the same reason why when I seen Conor Ben and the treatment he got after that situation, and then I seen how Alicia Baumgartner, how everybody was treating and capping and caping for her after that situation. That's the main reason why I stopped talking about women's boxing. Because I said I'm definitely not going to be one of them ones out here looking like I'm just bullying the women. But I was like, I'm not going to let that shit go by to where it's a different standard for Conor Ben popping versus the standard for her popping. And I seen how everybody was acting like simps when she popped and how everybody came down on Conor Ben when he popped. So both of them was in my intro. I had a whole intro with Alicia Baumgartner in it that was fire. I stopped playing it. I stopped playing the intro I had with Conor Ben, and them both of them was my fighters. But I said, nah, it's like, man, I'm one, and it's certain fighters that's a part of a certain thing that I don't even really do in it. Like, I really don't even do videos about, but I will touch on them. One of them is this other thumbnail I had, and I'll touch on him because I think he's one of them guys. But there's certain fighters I don't even touch on no more because it's like, hey, I don't want to be a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? Even though I think that he's like nice. But I can't say that Conor Ben is a force in the game. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't even know where he's really at. I don't know if he's really a 154. I don't know if he's going to get a built-in excuse if he go back down to 147. And plus, when he won the fight, when he did the call out, he said, "Yeah, I'll go down. I'll fight Mario Barrios, Devin Haney." And then he couldn't find Rolly name, but somebody told him, and he said Rolly Ramiro. Guess who he didn't say? Brian Norman Jr. So I'm like, can I even take this dude serious? Because everybody acting like it's a foregone conclusion that Devin just gonna go in there and spank Brian Norman Jr. So I don't know where. I think this was a freak show. I wasn't down with it anyway. I was calling the circus from the beginning. So I really didn't give a fuck about that fight. That's really why I didn't really care about, you know what I'm saying, covering it like that or doing anything. I watched it. I watched the whole undercard and all that. But I want some bread, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jack Catterall, you know what I'm saying, for getting me some bread for stopping that dude. But that's all I had on that one, y'all. Go ahead.
Hey, hold on. Go ahead, AC, if you want to. I was going to go ahead and cook on Chris, but go ahead.
Go ahead, cook on Chris. I want to hear.
All right, because, yeah, man, this is what I got to say. Chris Eubank didn't perform like Chris Eubank. Here's no excuses. There's nothing that I'm going to come up with for his performance, but what I am going to say is that just the late jabbing, the footwork. I mean, your feet were just planted in the ring, bro. Like, you were so slow. Shout out to Jack Catterall for letting his hands go, showing some footwork, moving around the ring for real, chasing the guy. That dude closed in his distance. You showed me that you don't have reach. You know, you don't know how to use that. You don't know how to keep little guys off you. You know, I'll leak this just real quick. I'm really, really good against people that are smaller than me. Like, oh, I look tripped. Like, you won't touch me. You know what I mean? Like, this will be a shutout ballpark game style fight for me. Like, it'll be that beautiful. Chris, as a taller fighter, you should know, like, that's one of the main things you map out, you know? So, again, Chris, you didn't look good. You looked like you didn't want to be there. Like, the lights were so bright. You were excited to walk with 50. You had more excitement in that than you did the fight. That's another key thing that I seen. You were electrified to walk with 50, but the moment that bell rang, there was like, well, I already walked with 50 and I'm about to get my check. So now it's just time to survive. From round 1 to 12, you survived. You showed survival to the fullest. And yeah, bro, you looked awful. You looked god awful, and I don't know what to say. Like, that was terrible. Shout out to Conor Ben though for embracing the moment, showing his ass, doing what he supposed to do. I caught that too, not calling out Brian Norman, which was odd because he looked like an easy lick, huh? Not so much no more, huh? Especially with how he talked. It sounds good till them lights go on. But go ahead, AC. I just want to get that out there that, yeah, Chris, you looked awful. You talked a lot of shit to me too, bro. So you looked awful. I want you to know something, Chris. You ain't shit. You ain't gonna never be shit. And you always gonna be an IBO champion, bro. And that's about it. An IBO champion. We don't even classify that as a real title. So get your shit together, man, because that shit was terrible.
So I'm gonna say that was my biggest caveat in the fight, because I kept on, whenever I tried to describe the fight, I was like, as much as, you know, with all the restrictions that they're gonna have on Chris Eubanks, you feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So for me, I'm like, okay, what are y'all trying to build with Conor Ben? Explain it to me, because nothing changed from all the restrictions you had on him the first time. He had to live with it the second time, and that's when you can obviously see that man got no business even looking at 160 pounds. You feel what I'm saying? Here's where one of those things where you talk about minimal weight actually making a big difference in the time where it says you have to complete this 36-minute task, unless you do something radical or the other person does something radical to you and gets the stoppage. But you have to maintain a certain amount of energy, a certain amount of discipline. You'll be moving for about 36 minutes. Those 8 pounds made a difference, because even though you rehydrate, you still can't rehydrate what you had to go through to make that, to get down to that 8 pounds. So at the end of the day, man, I'm not looking at the fight like, oh my God, he did something big. I'm not looking at the fight that either one of them did, that as it was a great fight. The first time they fought, it was a great spectacle because they both stood there and they were like rock'em sock'em robots. That's the spectacle right there. But you could clearly see one dude had conditioning issues. The other one, the weight cut and everything started to really show its colors because he had no punch resistance. And then when you look at it, someone pointed out um, they knew Chris Eubanks wasn't going to win this fight and his performance was going to be off because they said when he rehydrated the last time, look how big his face was compared to his body. It was like that's not, you're not supposed to look like that. You feel what I'm saying? So they broke it down in some scientific medical way and stuff like that, and it was plausible. You feel what I'm saying? But for me, I don't know what to say for Conor. I don't know how to give him props for this thing. Yeah, okay, you won. What's next?
I mean, I like the fact that he tried to. I like the fact that he tried to bookend it. I like the fact that he tried to say that's it. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Yeah,
I know what the business of boxing is going to try to vie for. They're going to try to vie for the trilogy to close it out. Which, like you said, it was a spectacle. That's why I didn't even know why people were getting so hype about it. But I agree with that point Boom said as far as the distance. That's what I realized with Eubanks. Now, what I can say is Conor Ben is very aggressive. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I don't believe that you can allow him to be first. Like as a taller man, you can allow him to go first, but with your distance, if you know how to negate the distance, it's like when he go first, you stop him in his tracks. So you're supposed to have something. The timing is supposed to be that if you want to allow him to be first,
He shouldn't. His shit. The wind of his punch shouldn't even get to you, bro. Like that's how it should be.
And Eubanks, he was too reactive. I'm like, well, if I looked at it, I think he got better reflexes than you. So he gonna beat you at that game like all day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you let him go first, I don't think your instincts, your reflexes are as fast or as sharp as his. Because he's being aggressive. He's trying to like hit you with all his might. So he's being super aggressive. You're being too reactive to where it's like you're waiting for him to come and then you're reacting and it's too late because he's faster than you. You know what I'm saying? So
like I said, Body. Like I said, did you notice his feet was planted in the ring, bro? Like his shit was stuck to the mat. Like it wasn't even like, yo, that shit was disgusting, bro. That shit was disgusting.
Yeah, he didn't.
You good at that little Instagram shit too, bro. But you don't really look good at boxing right now. That's what you need to focus on, my guy. That little Instagram shit you was doing, that shit funny and all, but let's get back to boxing, man.
But they got a bag they put on for the families. I really don't like. I don't like the fathers and all that because, like I said last week, I was just watching the G-Man and I saw a little bit of Conor Ben doing that too. He was hitting my man in the back of the head and shit. And I just kept thinking back to G-Man, you know what I'm saying? Like his father hit that man in the head. He hit that man in the back of the head so many times. Like I was just like, yo, I was like, what's the ref doing? You know what I'm saying? And Eubanks, he looked like he was too weak to even say something. He'll look over like he wanted to say something. He was looking like somebody like, man, he keep taking my lunch money, man. Like, do something, you know what I'm saying? He was so lethargic. It wasn't a good look, and I think it's going to give Conor Ben a false sense of confidence, but it's clear that he has not looked like. I think Algeria was the last time Conor Ben really looked like the destroyer, like before, and that was before the egg situation. And this one, where it's a mismatch. It was a mismatch because of the physicality. Like if they should have let Eubank be, you know what I'm saying? They should have let him hydrate to whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna make a freak show like that, like you should have made him rehydrate to whatever. Like allow him to rehydrate to whatever because of the health. Because it's the fluid around the brain and stuff like that. Like, and that's how people get fucked up, like, and have lifelong injuries like that when you're not hydrated properly. If you don't have enough fluid around your brain, you get hit in the head, a lot in the back of the head. Like that could have some strong implications. And I'm thinking he just really wanted to get his bag. They say, and he fought pregnant. And a lot of people don't know this. When a boxer, just like a man, when a man have a woman pregnant, he's pregnant. So if he got twins coming, he's pregnant with twins. Like that shit, like people don't realize. It's just like when a woman has menopause and a man is with a woman with menopause. You have menopause. Like it's scientific. Like there are stats and studies that actually show that. So when you going in there, your woman pregnant, you pregnant. Your woman got menopause, you got menopause. That's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Those are things that need to be considered. But it was a good little free show. The events and all that. It was a bag. Like it made Eddie look like he could put on spectacular shows, but it was really a carnival act. Chris Eubanks need to be up there around 168. You know what I'm saying? If he still want to fight and take it serious, he's like 35, 36. You know what I'm saying? So he's definitely not a spring chicken. So I think he got maybe 1 or 2 more fights. You know what I'm saying? If he's serious, maybe 3. But over there, they'll let you fight until, you know what I'm saying, you slobbing and drooling on yourself. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? It was a freak show, but it's over. That's what I had on that. Conor Bennett knows he got no business with he know Melazar. He might be smarter than he look, Melazar. For real. He might be smarter than he look. But moving on, man. I was just gonna make a little pit stop there, but moving on to the other piece. The super flyweight unification between Bam Rodriguez and Puma Martinez might be underrated. So I'm gonna touch on this before we get to the main topic of the Z show. This is what I mean. This fight is going under the radar. I think me and AC, we talked about it. And he said, let's give Bam his time to shine. Now, what a lot of people don't know is Bam, may not know, is that Bam is one of my favorite fighters. You know what I'm saying? I just don't do material on him because I don't like an affiliation that I heard he had. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite and do like too much material on him. But he's one of my favorite fighters, man. He's like a little Swiss Army knife. I call him the mechanic in my boxes to watch, meaning that however you need to get it done, he can get in there and fix it. Like he gonna get in there and fix the problem. Puma, I've seen him fight a couple times. I know he is feisty. I know he's not coming to lay down. And what needs to be known about this fight is that it's a unification. I know BoxRec, it hasn't been recognizing the WBA for like a year and a half now. I think it might be coming up on 2 years since they stopped recognizing the WBA, which sucks because that means you got to go to an alternative source to actually see that. But BoxRec is not going to show you that. It's not even going to show you that if a fight took place for that. It's not even going to register that it was a championship fight for that WBA. It sucks. But since Puma has the WBA and Bam has the WBO and the WBC, this is a unification. So this is a unification. So I think it's gonna be a good fight, man. I definitely don't bet against Bam Rodriguez. I think he's one of the best things smoking right now. It's just he fights at the lower weight classes, and so a lot of people they don't give the smaller weight classes the attention that they actually deserve. That fight, Bam Rodriguez and Puma Martinez, will bring fireworks. I got Puma. Yeah, Jose Rodriguez said he got Puma too. So it's a couple people pulling for Puma. He's an Argentinian fighter. If you don't know Argentinian fighters like Brian Castaño, what's my name? I think Maidana was. Maidana.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Yo, what up, buddy?
Gustavo Lemos, salute CJ. Gustavo Lemos was actually Argentinian. So them are some feisty little fighters. You know what I'm saying? They change levels. They go to the body. They go to the head. They're aggressive. They can punch. You know, most of them have high gas tanks. We know that Bam is susceptible to being knocked down every now and again. He'll take a licking and keep on ticking. Now he'll get knocked down, you know, but he'll get back up and he'll bring the pain. So I'm excited about it. I think this is probably the most underrated fight of the card. I don't think it's the one that has the most chance of an upset, but I do think that this fight is going flying under the radar. But go ahead, y'all. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm not sure who else is on the panel, but salute to you for letting me up. You know, I'm tapped in. Let me get it off like this. I definitely agree with you that because people don't know Martinez, even if they know Bam, niggas, and I be fair, I got to do my research too, right? Because I'm not the all knowing of this shit. I mean, I like to learn, and that's why I'm up here. But yeah, so I have done some research on Martinez, and definitely a legitimate threat. Let me say that. So yes, overlooked. I still got Bam, but man, this card is going ham, bars, right? Because this shit is crazy, man. It's stacked, and people are not really appreciating it, in my opinion. They're not giving a shout out, they're not giving thanks. You know, it's November, we gotta give thanks to Turkey. I'm not riding, but goddamn, he's putting shit on, man. He's been putting shit on for like 2 or 3 years, and I think we should appreciate it more as boxing fans because this is another fire card. That's where I'm at with it. Y'all got it.
Yeah. I give, you know, I do give Turkey a lot of flack. You know what I'm saying? I give Turkey a lot of flack, man, but I do have to salute him for this one. This is one of the cards when I said, man, when it was first announced, I couldn't believe, you know, the magnitude of the card and the level of competition on the card. This is not one of them ones where he just got a bunch of names and they mesh together. Like, all of these fights have real deal implications. And so, you know, I salute Turkey. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of them people that, like, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, like with Shakur moving up to go see T.O., hey, you ain't gonna hit nothing from me. With Devin moving up to actually see Brian Norman as far as taking on, hey,
Let's
you
go.
ain't gonna hit nothing from me. I got my picks, but you ain't gonna hit nothing from me. This is the things that I actually like admire about the sport. This is how boxing is supposed to move. So I actually give them guys a salute. I give Turkey a salute for this one. You know, what the fight that I think, and even though I don't bet against David, I don't bet against David Benavidez anymore, right? But I think that if there is going to be an upset, that might be the fight.
Homie.
That might be the fight.
Yards.
You know,
Okay.
I say that because
that's interesting.
I say that because this Anthony Yard is like dangerously calm. It's almost like he allowed himself to go into this thing with no pressure. He's not feeling no pressure. Why? Because nobody expected him to win. He's like, listen, I've been there. I had 2 bites at the apple. You know what I'm saying? This is my 3rd. Like, for me to have, I think he had like 12 amateur fights. He was like, for me to have 12 amateur fights, be able to get 3 bites at the apple like this, he was like, that's unheard of. He said, I know this guy. He's like, I respect this guy. But he keeps saying, I know that if I land correctly, if I land properly, he said, if I land properly, you know what I'm saying, I can hurt anybody. And this is what I wanted to say, man. This is something that I wanted to play for everybody, because this is something that I think a lot of these boxers, mainly the topic of the discussion tonight, the main guy, the topic of the discussion tonight, this is something that I think he can learn from David Benavidez. Let me play this for y'all real quick. And we all can cook. We all can cook. Hold on real quick.
Younger generation is, I think too, we could show the younger generation is, you don't always have to be trashy. You don't always have to say stupid stuff. We could be gentlemen. We be respectful to each other. I respect his skills. He respects my skills. But once we get in the ring, all that goes out the window. We're gonna try to knock each other out. I think too, we can show the younger generation is you don't always have to be trashy. You don't always have to say stupid stuff. We could be gentlemen. We could be respectful to each other. I respect his skills. He respects my skills. But once we get in the ring, all that goes out the window. We're gonna try to knock each other out.
That's what I believe, that the man of the hour. This is why I think that this man, that's why I think it's Slumber Fest. You know what I'm saying? Have your pajamas, have your pillows, have your blankets. Because I think that the man has gotten out of control with a lot of the things and the mindset he's going into this fight. And I'm thinking that, man, you can learn a lot from David Benavidez, a young champ that dominates fights and do all that. But you would think that the way David Benavidez fight, he would be talking like how that guy talks, except for he's like, listen, man, it ain't gonna take all of that, man. We don't gotta say all this crazy stuff. I respect him, he respect me, but when we get in the ring, I'm gonna try to knock his block off. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let me weigh in on it. I don't think that's great for selling the fight, and that's another reason I think that maybe Norman and Haney should have been the main event. It's a toss-up, but I'm gonna say this: they are bigger shit talkers, I would say, especially with the fathers, than Benavidez in a yard. But I mean, that's cool. I mean, it's respectful, and I'm glad he's getting down to business. But again, I don't think it should be the main event. It should be the co-main. I rock with Benavidez though, and I definitely got him by stoppage, late stoppage. You know what I mean? Like 10, somewhere around there. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
You got a late stoppage. AC, you still there?
Yeah. I just muted up. Where I'm at with a lot of this is this. With Benavidez and Yard, I'm still. I could see either one of them winning. For me, I'm pretty much sure if Anthony Yard is gonna win, it's gonna win.
Okay, let me dial it in. I'm gonna let you cook, but I want you to outline how Yard could win.
I was about to say that. Basically, okay. If he does win, he wins via stoppage, and I would say that's gonna happen probably before the 8th round, because at the end of the day, when Benavidez throws combinations, he's very square and he's very plankish. You feel what I'm saying? So for me,
I do, but I don't see Yard taking advantage of that. But go ahead, cook.
So when he does things like that, we've seen Anthony Yard punch with both Kovalev and he punched with Beterbiev. And when they both connected, both took steps back. So that means if you ain't got a beard like Kovalev or Beterbiev, and Anthony Yard decides to punch with you and lands properly like he's saying, it could be one of those situations where, yeah, David Benavidez is going to get knocked down, and he has a tendency to get up when he's knocked down, but this time he's really going to be hurt. His head ain't going to be 100% in the game. And if Yard goes after him properly, gives himself this distance and not just smother his punches, but gives himself the distance to connect, that's a TKO stoppage or a knockout. But for me, it generally has to happen within a certain amount of time, because Benavidez is probably going to come with high octane and try to force Anthony Yard to use up his gas tank. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly. Benavidez tank is on full. The output is super high.
Yeah.
I feel you. Okay. I mean, I respect your opinion, but it's like, I don't think he has the skill set to take advantage of that necessarily. Yeah, Benavidez does square up and leave himself open to some shit, but
CJ, if he just had the skill set and the awareness to punch with a Beterbiev and
punch with a motherfucker,
a Kovalev, to have that ring IQ to say, listen, if I punch with them, this is probably going to be the easiest time that I'll.
Did he win those fights?
No, let me finish. If I punch with them, does it mean I have the easiest time, or is that my easiest path to connecting with them, to connect a clean shot on them? Because other than that, none of the punches he was really throwing were really that clean, except for Kovalev. But when it came down to Peterviev, people sleep on Peterviev's defense and other things like that. And Anthony Yard had the ring IQ and the know-all to say, listen, I gotta just start to punch with this dude. I gotta sell out and punch with him because otherwise he's gonna keep picking me apart and destroying me. And I need to figure out some kind of way that I can get him to back up, respect my power, or whatever. And when they got into those punching exchanges, that's when the crowd absolutely went berserk. It doesn't matter whether he won or lost. It was his performances that people keep tuning in to Anthony Yard for. So
okay, that's a selling point, absolutely. But let me play devil's advocate. It's I would think he would try to go, especially at his age right now, go with the opposite strategy because he knows that they've been picking him apart like a chess game. You feel me? What is the opponent's game plan? He's gonna have to try to come in there early and boom, 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 bop. You know what I mean? And I would think he would try to go in the other direction and say, I'm going to be patient because we know the narrative is Benavidez, goddamn, I can't even. Benavidez has the tank and Yard gasses out. So why would he try to offset that? That's where I'm at. But I don't. All right, man. I know you've been fucking with Yard, and I respect it. I respect your opinion. I just disagree. You want to put some push-ups on it, homie?
You gonna bet him some push-ups, AC?
On this fight, no, because I told you I'm on this. See, you haven't been here or heard me.
I'm trying to get you swole.
You haven't been here or heard me describe this fight to understand that these two guys are both within my favorite fighter category. I've been like 1 minute I'll say I think Benny gonna do it, then the other minute I look at Anthony Yard and I'm like, bro, this. When I go back and look at his old fights, man, this dude could really smack David Benavidez to sleep, which people are definitely sleeping on. They sleeping on this dude's power and his speed and his ability to deliver a combination. So just hear what I just really go back, take off the commentary and really look at the Kovalev and Peterviev fight. When you go back and you look at those and say, all right, with those fights, at the time he fought them, before a lot of the war between the war that Peterviev had with Bivol, at the end of the day, man, that shit was impressive of how he took that man into those deep waters and gave him that fight. That was a fight. He made Peterviev fight him. And he took it to Peterviev at times. And I was like, bro, you can't, if anybody's sleeping on this dude, they crazy as hell. And this is why, if you was there at the beginning of when David Benavidez was talking about going up to 65, the very first fight that came out my mouth was, I hope he fights Yard, because that's going to be, for me, the measuring stick. If he can't fuck with Yard, leave them other dudes alone.
Yeah, he was.
I recall that.
Let me lay down some foundation. Where I think the reason why, and again, I bet against David Benavidez so many times, but I don't bet against him. And I say that he's like basically won me all the way over to where it's like I don't bet against him. You know what I'm saying? But he always choosing opponents that be like, well, maybe. And I said that's a good dilemma. See, that's why you gotta like somebody like David Benavidez. This is why he's one of the leaders of the new school, in my opinion. Like this class right now, he's one of them guys to where you can get behind him and be like, hey, that's my fighter right there, because of the mindset. And you know, he don't back down. You know, he's out there being aggressive. He's still chasing the smoke. The reason why I'm looking at it, and the reason why I say that this is the one that has the biggest upset, because there's not a soul out here that, I mean, AC, he's pulling for Yard, but he been wanted that fight. Like he said, he's one of the first ones saying he wanted to see it. Even when I wasn't even thinking about something like that, he was one of the first ones to actually say that. So I'll give him that credit. The thing is, I've been listening to Yard, and I've been so impressed with this up here. We know that it's 80% this up here, 20% physical. And I think he's winning not in a battle with David Benavidez, but with going into this match. I think
His
he's
mental
winning
approach. Okay.
with his approach. You know why? Because he said, listen, he said a lot of people was coming to him asking him, why are you taking this fight? Why would you take this fight? You don't have
High
to,
risk.
you don't have to take this. And he said, why not? He said, when I look at a lot of the times when I ask myself, why do fights not get made? He said, because a lot of people are scared to lose. He was like, I'm not scared to lose. Like I've had this bite at the apple, and it's been, and I've lost, but it's been to some guys. Think about who I lost to. I lost to Kovalev. I lost to Beterbiev. He's like, look at who I lost to. He was like, but I'm not scared to lose. I'm like, that's what makes him so dangerous. He's not scared. Like, this is his third time. He know he might not get it, but this might be a banana peel because everybody thinking it's a foregone conclusion that David Benavidez is going to do his thing. And Yard does have the kind of power. Think about it. A lot of the times, it don't be the guys that's your size and your height with your arm reach. It be them guys that can get up under you. Right? Sure. So you got a height deficit. Yep. It's like about 2 inches. It's about a 2-inch height deficit. But if Yard fight a little bit where he, get up under him and come up with something, when you get hit by something that you least expect, like, it's gonna be a battle of wills.
Leverage, I know from wrestling, sometimes you get underneath the motherfucker. Okay, y'all kind of. I'm not fully convinced, but y'all making a good argument. I'll get it.
I'm not like me. I'm not betting against David. I'm just saying that out of all the fights, if I had to, this is my argument tonight. Out of all of the fights, if I said, okay, the one that could possibly be the upset, that's why, because he could catch David, because David has been sat down before. If he gets sat down
I hopped on the panel immediately, real quick. I hopped on the panel right away. I thought you were saying that the Bam Rodriguez was the possible upset. Okay, I didn't even get the full context. I
was saying that fight is the most underrated. Oh, like, we're gonna get more bang for our buck out of that fight by them two little guys. Like, it's flying under the radar, where it's like nobody. I haven't heard people still talk about the Benavidez and Yard. Everybody talking about the Norman and Haney, right? But then it's like, okay, is Abdullah Mason gonna get his strap? Right? They talking about that, but nobody's talking about Bam.
Yeah, the only places I'm gonna keep the thing with you. Okay. If you speak Spanish and that's your primary language and you can understand the Spanish channel, then there are a couple of Spanish channels that are really, they got little mini series and little mini documentaries about Bam and stuff like that. When you look in the comment section of the Ring Magazine, jump off of Bam, you feel what I'm saying? Bam versus his opponent. It's nothing but Spanish people commenting on the video. So
I see.
For some reason, the American market, is not giving Bam his props. And that's why I was like, you know what, Body? Let's just do a jump off on Bam, so at least, there's the stake in the ground to say, out of all the research that I've come across and looking at it and looking at my feeds and everything, after I keep clicking on like at least 3 or 4 videos of Bam, then everything starts to pop up for him. Bro, I don't see many American channels. You get some American channels that are covering the card and they'll speak on Bam. They may talk about Bam and use Bam as the thumbnail for odds, but they're not necessarily giving you like the tangibles to the fights. They're giving you the betting.
Not really diving in. Hey, I'm in that lane. I'll admit it. Yep, I've covered the card overall, but I haven't really dug deep into that fight. So that's cool. You got a point.
Let me tell you some things to look out for. Reason why I don't think this would be an upset is because I think in order to beat certain fighters, especially if you're in my boxes to watch. Like, again, I say Bam I call him the mechanic in my boxes to watch. It's like, it's not much he can't do. There's certain boxers in there to whereas, well, most of them, if you can't thump, you ain't really got no chance in beating them. Like,
hold on, champ. What's your term? Boxing garage?
My boxers to watch.
Oh, boxers to watch. Okay.
Boxers to watch. Like boxers to look out for. Like, he's in my boxers to watch, and I got him as the mechanic in there. And one of the things with Puma, he only got a 50% knockout ratio. Not saying he can't get you, because anybody with proper time and placement, angle, you know what I'm saying, whatever, you go in there willy-nilly, he can do it, but he don't possess that thump like that. He only at a 50%.
Plus, Bam has a 2-inch height and damn near a 3-inch. I think it's a 2-inch height advantage and at least a 3-inch reach advantage over Puma. So unless Puma's coming in with some crazy footwork, he's gonna be on the end of Bam a lot.
You got, I think you got this in the background, man.
You can put me on. Yeah, somebody got this.
Hey, Melazar. I think you got to take. You might still have YouTube in the back.
Yeah, close out YouTube, homie. That's all.
It's got a trouble over here with the mic and stuff. I'm trying to fix it.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, he should be good now.
You good, Melazar? You good?
Now you can hear me?
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Yeah, we got you.
How you been, man?
Oh, you still got the echo though.
Yeah.
Close that YouTube tab, man. Just really close out the app.
Good. Yeah, give me a second. I think I got a problem over here.
All right. But yeah, I'll finish up. But with the guys like a guy like Bam, that dude is so surgical and he's so smooth as far as with his angles. He said he took Loma's style and made it his own, but he's smoother and he has more power. He get to the point to where he can flank you. He'll be on one side, then all of a sudden he'll be on the other side. But the angles and the leverage that he has, by the time he get up on you with that angle, with the angles that he have and the leverage, it's already over. Now the thing is, he is susceptible. He might get knocked down and get back up, but you gotta have some power. I think that this is just gonna be a feisty fight. I think Puma gonna start off feisty. And like always, Bam, he's gonna make his adjustments and you know what I'm saying, finish the show. And I think to a certain extent, I think Bam can afford to go up some, man. Like he's kind of, if you see him in between his fights, he get big as shit between his. You wouldn't even recognize him.
Yo,
so let me ask you, what does Puma, for me, looking at some of what's going on, for me, kind of a winning strategy for Puma would be, you think if he chose to like keep it in the pocket and try to smother Bam, don't let Bam be able to utilize those angles that he tends to use. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta kind of keep Bam in a compartment, and if you can keep him in that compartment,
are you saying clinch like Oh Boy was doing this past weekend? I mean, what would you advise? Like
smother, kind of get up on him. Don't give him the space. Like he's kind of like a. If you give him space, time, and distance, he'll pick you apart. Put it like that. So make it ugly. I think the more
that's
get up on him, smother him. You know what I'm saying? Rough him up. You know what I'm saying? Like
a Resendez, but a light version of a Resendez. Yeah,
go on the inside and Resendez that man. You know what I'm saying?
But other than that, I mean, if that's not part of his game plan, I don't think you're gonna win the jab contest because.
What up, guys? Now you hear me,
on, bro? Yeah.
You hear me better now?
Yeah, you good now. You good now, bro.
But basically, I'm just gonna close out with this: if he can't close the distance and make it an ugly fight and try to smother Bam's work and keep him from those angles,
I think I got delayed or something.
We can hear us. We can hear you, Melazar.
I think you're a little delayed. I don't know what's going on, champ. Maybe you need to tap out and tap back in. I don't know.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, bro, it's he's gotta take advantage of his disadvantages. He has to make his disadvantages advantages. You feel what I'm saying? Because you're shorter and you don't have the reach and you don't have, you may not have that pop that keeps Bam off of you. So in close, you might be able to do better and just chip and steal away at rounds because you're pushing him around and you're constantly having him on the back foot because you're making him smother a lot of what he's doing. Other than that, I think by the time the fight get into the middle rounds, anything after 6, it's definitely going to be a runaway train with just Bam just now going into the David Benavidez type second and third gear.
Yeah, man, Bam don't play with his food, man. He gonna
once he hurts somebody, he's taking them about. Okay,
yeah,
respect it.
So,
but let's talk about the main event, man. I mean, well, not the main event, but the topic of tonight.
In our mind, yeah.
Yeah, Slumberfest, you know what I'm saying? But
Slumberfest. Hold on. What you mean by that? Somebody who getting stopped? That's what I'm asking you.
Going to sleep, man.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's speak on it.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, I'll open it up. I'll cut my promo. See, I got like 300 on Norman. I'll say that, but my heart is with Haney. Shout out to Bill. You know what I mean? I'm from the Bay, so I got to put it down like that. But moreover, and more to the point, niggas been hating on Devin, man, since he got fucking cheated, and he did his part. Don't forget, he did his part to preserve that Ryan rematch, and Ryan fucking lost. So he getting more hate than Ryan. I don't understand that shit. So that's why my heart is with Haney. So I'll be good either way. I can make a little bit of bread, or you know what I mean. The Bay Area player gonna come back. Y'all got it.
Hold on, CJ. Hold on. Melazar.
What's up, guys?
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Now, finally.
Yeah, man. What's up, man? I ain't heard from you in a while, brother. What's going on?
I have all that work and stuff. Finally, the laid off, the pink slip came in, and now I got time. Shit.
I got you.
Bro.
But
I was listening to you.
What's up with the Puma? You say you got Puma?
Yeah, I got Puma. I got some Argentinian friends and whatever, and the other one is Mexican, and I'm Puerto Rican, so I will go with the Argentinian. But I saw him training because they gave him like a goodbye before he went to Saudi Arabia, and they put some videos and stuff. He trained for power, but I don't saw him with speed. If him in that weight class, you should have a lot of speed, but he's just whacking this stuff, but it's not like speed wise, it's more like power wise. So I don't know, maybe what is the name? I forgot the other guy. Van Rodriguez. I think he got speed and power, he got speed and power, so can be a early night.
So
maybe.
you betting with your heart. I mean, were you picking with your heart?
Yeah. Okay. When I'm picking Puma Martinez, I'm doing with the heart. I'm not like, all these facts. It's like, but I saw him training, and he kind of looked like slow. He looked with a lot of power, but he looked slow.
Yeah, I feel.
Yo, I respect you sticking by your people, but don't put no bread down. Just root with your heart.
Yeah. You feel me?
What you think about the main event? I mean, I keep saying the main event, the topic of tonight. What do you think about the Brian Norman versus Devin Haney?
Oh, I'm going with Brian Norman. Yeah, I saw him fighting before and whatever, and he got a nasty hook, and I don't like the Haneys at all. So
yeah.
And Norman is good. He's been fighting. He's been proving himself. Like I like him. Like I really like him.
I do too, champ. But shit, to say you don't like the Haneys, can you unpack that real quick? Why don't you like the Haney? What did Devin do to offend you? specifically?
He's from California, and they got that
Fuck
California
you.
mentality and stuff like that, and that's
California mentality. Let's go.
Yeah.
What? I'm from Cali. I'm from the Bay.
Okay, that explains why. My family's from California. That's why we don't talk. They're from California. I'm from the East Coast, so we got different ways to see the
Or
world.
what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
I ain't trying to beef. I just want to know what you meant by California mentality. Just
you know that mentality. You know you got the same mentality, CJ. So you know what you're talking about.
It's California. It's California. Like I don't want to get into it, but it's California. It's like, yo, damn.
You saying we stuck up like we are? What? No. Come on.
It's kind of a laid back thing.
I'm chilling.
The sunshine.
I mean, I'm stressed out, but I'm fucking chilling. You all right?
No, yeah, because it's more politics. It's I live over there. I don't like the way California. I live in the Coachella Valley, right? And I don't like that. I don't know. It's not my. No, it's okay. Like whatever you guys do. You like, nah, it's not my place.
I'm gonna definitely do that. But
let me say something though, CJ. This is the thing, man. There's more than enough. There's more than enough stuff. It's more than enough material out here. That's the reason why people don't really like Devin and them. Like everybody act like this man just like he don't do nothing. They don't say nothing. Like they have ruffled the feathers. They have burnt a lot of bridges. Like they don't respect nobody they get in the ring with. They don't have anything good to say about nobody that they get in the ring with. And they have rubbed a lot of fan bases wrong.
Okay.
There's a track record of, and there are reasons as to why somebody be like, I don't particularly care for them guys. Like it's
mostly, in my opinion, I feel what you're saying overall, but in my opinion, mostly due to Bill, his actions.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna completely say that. I'm gonna say it like this. As a person who's been watching this kid for the longest and watching Bill for the longest, it came to a certain point where Bill realized that he has to be this extrovert and take things this extra step. If you look at early Devin Haney, Bill, neither one of them was really like that. But then, like even when Brian Norman breaks it down, he was like, yeah, I knew this dude. We was mad cool. But when he started making money, he got real different. So the people who don't like the Haneys, okay, they don't like the new Bill, and they don't like this new Devin, because at the end of the day, they forget that people remember who they are. Just like you can be from my hood, and then you move to Hollywood, and then you acting like you never lived in my hood. That's where people are gonna be like, this dude is full of shit, because there's nothing tangible that I can hold on to. You had me when you was just a rich kid. People understood that. You feel what I'm saying? Your pops gave you a break. Your pops was the one who did all the dirt. Then you wanted to be Dev Dollar. Then you got the diamond earrings, the gold fronts, the diamond yucks. Oh, after you said you wasn't gonna go in that direction, you did it. Once the money started to come in, then you started to show off your cars, and then you went from Dev Dollars to Devin the Dream. And then once you went from Devin the Dream, now you at Debo Dev. So consistently, bro, you've shown fans who, and you got to understand, many fans like genuine people. When you come across as disingenuous, this is where I understand, for me, those fans who don't like Devin Haney, because when you really listen to them, they're just saying at the end of the day, maybe because they're trying to be nice about it or be cruel about it. It's just a matter of saying, listen, these dudes ain't genuine. They're disingenuous in a lot of their actions and a lot of what they say. You feel what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, yes, nobody's taking nothing away from Devin. Nobody's taking nothing away from Devin. But you're trying to tout your resume like your resume is really, really the best resume in boxing right now. Look at who I fought. Who haven't I not fought? And it's like, Dev, see, this that bullshit again, bro. Just be like, yeah, I fought some good opponents. Some people may criticize when I actually fought them, but at the end of the day, this test that's in front of me right now is going to prove to y'all that I was everything that I said I was going to be. But he doesn't come across like that.
Cool.
There is no genuineness with him. There is no humbleness with him. And this is why a person like me is looking at this fight like, bro, for the longest I rock with you. Now this is the time that I'm telling you, bro, you my man, but you going over there to fuck with them people over there, they gonna fuck you up, my dude. Because I know you, dude. I know you. You can't bullshit me. You could bullshit them other niggas and think you going in there to do something, but that dude gonna fuck you up, bro. And I'm telling you this because I'm looking at it from the mud and a certain mentality that you forgot who you were a long time ago. That's why there's this meme out there about you with the Floyd Mayweather stuff. You're disingenuous.
I'm gonna be real. I'm very stressed, going through a lot of shit right now, so I've been drinking a bit. So I wasn't trying to cut you off, but I was trying to remember my points before I forgot them. That's cool. Okay, first of all, as far as I recall, you're a bigger Devin Haney fan than me. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So you're being critical about your favorite fighter.
I'm being honest about it.
Where it's gonna get fuzzy. Shit. It's like, do you want him to sell himself or not? It's like, you gotta play a certain lane, and y'all niggas, y'all on YouTube, you know this at a much, I want to say lesser level, but you gotta put yourself out there, make yourself either the baby face, because I'm a former pro wrestler, or a heel, right? You got to be the good guy or the bad guy. Since y'all want to label him the bad guy, then he's gonna ride that lane, and I ain't mad at him. Yes, and we are gonna see. We are gonna see this weekend, this Saturday, and he'll have to prove it, right, in the ring. So, and there's gonna be no more talk or how he presents himself. If he wins this, so I'll land with this. If he wins this fucking fight, are y'all gonna give him props?
Hell yeah.
No, but this the thing though, CJ. I'm giving him props for taking the fight.
Okay.
I'm giving
absolutely.
But see, the thing is with Devin and them is that we know that we know it's different when you got it naturally. Like Floyd kind of had it naturally. Like he had the one-liners, he had the quick takes, he had the trash talking, and then inside the ring he just had that dominance, that he was who he was. It's like, I think what don't resonate with a lot of fans when it comes to Devin is that they know that he's like the silver spoon kid who's trying to be something that he's not.
Okay.
So when he comes
from the
across,
town, I will say that.
So when he come across, like I'll give you an example. Right before the last fight, he did an interview with Andre Ward, and he said, yeah. He's like, man, I used to get a watch every time I fight and this and this and that. He's like, but he's like, I realized, I was talking to my father, and he was like, all the money you get, you're gonna have to save it. It's just gonna be life after the box. He's like, so I'm not into all of that. He's like, it was just dumb stuff I was doing and this and that. So I'm not really gonna do that no more. Soon as he won, he went out there and he was in there getting a watch. And like, for people who like material things, it's not a thing to where you hate people, because like they all got a chain or some kind of gadgets or whatever, and that's the culture now. Like it's like a status thing where you got your big chain, you got your jewelry. It's not that. It's not that you got it. It's just the fact that you said this and then you're doing that. And like it's just like right now where he's saying he's Debo. He's saying he's Debo, but it ain't nothing Debo about you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's disingenuous. Like when they were saying that he should be Dev Dollars, I was like, no, bro. Like I
wish
thought
he was wrong, but
I personally,
we're gonna see though.
Look, I personally think that they marketed Dev wrong from the beginning. I'm like, man, like you know how Brian Norman is. Like he embraced like the fact that he's Southern, and he got the little Southern hospitality thing. He got the little Southern swag or whatever. And he embraces it. He kind of embraces that's who he is. And like with Dev coming with that silver spoon stuff, he should have embraced that. Like I'm not from the streets. Like I'm not from the streets, and I'm still like up here. I'm still like top.
See, that's
echelon.
not
I'm still top dog.
okay.
But body, that's what he used to
understand.
be. He embraced that whole silver spoon thing. He embraced that. He was like, yeah, he was like, listen, all of these dudes want to say that every boxer came from the poorest neighborhood. Not every boxer came, not every world champion came from that.
I like the silver spoon, Haney. You feel me? I like it. You know when he killed me and he pushed me away.
Respond to this.
When he starts saying like, "Oh, I'm better than Mayweather and Mayweather." What are you talking? It's like Gabriel Matias saying, "Oh, I am the new Trinidad. The Trinidad era is over." Or Sanders Saya saying, "No, the Cotto era is over now." Papi, the Puerto Ricans will go over and their career will be over. Because you cannot say shit like that. You have to leave the past in the past, and you're the future, and you do your career. When he starts talking about Mayweather and he's the Haney era, Mayweather is. Why you're talking about Mayweather? He's even retired. What you doing? So they kill it right there. That was the worst boxing move ever.
Yeah,
like,
and they
no
paid
Mexican
for it.
Say they're gonna be the new Chavez, and the Chavez era is over, and they're gonna be nobody do shit like that.
Yeah, and here's
Steve
the thing.
Let me get in real quick.
Let me say this real quick, CJ. When to your point where you was talking about where fighters have to do a certain thing because we're in this era, there's a quiet undertone when you look at a Bam Rodriguez, when you look at an Abdullah Mason, when you look at a David Benavidez, when you look at Brian Norman Jr. And there are a couple of other fighters. Now I'm gonna mention one more fighter.
He's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
I'm gonna mention one more fighter. Joseph Brown. This dude only has like 6 fights, but yet everybody's knowing who the fuck Joseph Brown is because the way he carries himself and because of his performances in the ring. They know Abdullah Mason because of the way he carries himself and his performances in the ring. Devin, everybody knows you're a good boxer. Eddie Hearn stamped it. You are not going to beat Devin Haney if you go in there and try to box Devin Haney. I'm a person that tends to agree with that. But that's a Devin Haney that Eddie Hearn spoke about that I'm not sure that person exists today. And you really, really have me on the fence. Like, bro, there's the subconscious mind of me that says I would love for you to win. But then there's the realistic part of every other part of my being that tells me, bro, the way you talk, your actions and everything else, you done fucked around and met with the right one and he gonna set you straight. And maybe this is what you need.
Hey, Steve, let me tell you something, brother. Like Hulk Hogan. You're gonna have to let me get off. Just for tonight. You know what I mean? Not in general. I'm not trying to step on your toes, but I'll be missing like my thoughts go in and out of my head just for tonight. But I'm gonna say it like this because I do have this one. People were saying, "Oh, he comes off as disingenuous, and you don't like that he's not authentic." Cool, I can respect that. However, you're not gonna come off as the good guy. So before you can be a good bad guy in wrestling terms, you have to be a good guy, right? Give the people a reason to care about you before they hate you. Does that make sense? I say that to say this. You guys are saying he should have embraced the rich boys suburban mentality, especially with a black man. That doesn't resonate. We don't.
Why not?
You know what I mean? We don't connect with that.
How many
so
rich
I think that's
are out there?
unrealistic.
How many rich black kids are out there? Why we always have to perform that we came from the ghetto and we're poor? What? Hell no.
I'm just saying. Hold on, champ. Let me respond to your shit because I'm from East Oakland, but I live in the suburbs now. I'm just stating reality. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm saying if you want to gain a fan base, again, I'm talking about playing the character. Since y'all want to talk about getting over, nobody knows that better than me. It's a pro wrestler, so. Yeah, to get over, you got to resonate with the crowd. It don't matter how I feel about myself or how I want to present myself. What is the crowd going to respond to? That's where I'm at.
Let me ask you something, TJ. Let me ask you something real quick. Because this is who I think got it right, and this is the lane I think Devin could have played perfect into. You see how El General, like Emiliano Vargas,
Yes.
you see how
Always
he
moving.
is. You see how he is with the clean cut and how he come across like everything's immaculate, and he already got endorsements, and he just like that preppy, clean, like everything first class. Like that's the lane I think Devin could have excelled in, because everything could have been like, especially with him being into the fashion and him being, into the watches and all that. That's the lane that probably would have worked better. Whereas like people like, dang, he clean, or they would have looked at it like that. But like when you trying to be this is what I say, and this is what I used to say on Smoke. You probably heard me say this over there on Smoke Session before. Like I've never seen a villain that don't have any weapons. Like you can't be a good villain. All the villains have great weapons. Like the Joker, he had gadgets and weapons. Bane, he was tough, he was strong, he was, like all of like Green Goblin, like they had weapons. Like, so if you don't come across like with him trying to be Debo, we know Debo was Zeus, brother. Like him saying he's Debo, that was Zeus.
Okay.
Like he'll put hands on you. He was intimidating. He would knock you out. Like people would tuck their chains when he come around. Like, what about Devin says that? This is what we saying. Whereas like,
okay, that is bad branding. I will acknowledge the Debo was bad. Yeah, that ain't it.
Yeah, like I mean, I would have accepted Dev dollars before the because that's just like the money made. But see,
I could agree
out
with
of
that.
a limousine with bodyguards and shit like that. You feel me? I can eat that, and then he box every. But when he talk about Mayweather, like, oh, dude, you never trash. It doesn't matter because a lot of people are attached to it. Like they're attached to it feeling wise because people invest feelings in boxing and time, like we do in wrestling. We invest time, money, and passion to it because wrestling fan and boxing fan and UFC fans are very passionate, But bro, you don't talk about it now that he buried himself. So now, and then his father, Bill Haney, is oh my God, he's the. Every time I listen to him, it's like, what, you want to be a Bob Arum, now you want to be a Don King, now you want to be who? Like every time he's trying to change something and be so, no, bro.
Hey,
no.
let me
Malazzo,
say
I gotta hop in. I'm gonna let AC go real quick though, because I hate that, because if y'all judge me based on my father's actions, then I'll just be a piece of shit. But
but he's let me say this for him. He's his mind. How you say voice piece? You feel me? Like his mouthpiece, like his because Devin don't talk. I don't have nothing bad to say about him and shit. Only the video in that fair, but who give a damn? But
let me say it like this. I'm Devin, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I even listen to him cursing and shit, Devin is not a kid like I gonna say, oh, I have this shit and he say that, or he beat some women, or no, he don't have his father is his mouthpiece, but whatever,
Now here's what used to be a troll that I used to get with, like, say to some of the early dudes that I met that were like, extreme Tank fans. You feel what I'm saying?
We are extreme in any fan, bro. I'm an extreme Matias fan. Like so whatever. I'm
gonna say it like this.
I'm gonna say, Bodywork, he's a Tank fan to the dead.
I'm gonna say it like this. This used to be one of my trolls that I used to say. You don't want your boy to get his ass kicked by the rich kid.
Yeah.
But you don't want your boy to get your ass kicked by the rich kid. The dude with the pink sweaters that dates a Buffy and shit like that. That's why, and I say that's why y'all dudes don't like Dev, because Dev ain't got to work hard to make the money, because he's basically coming into the game with money. So at the end of the day, my point is this: you dudes don't want to get in the ring with him because y'all don't want to get y'all asses kicked by the rich kid. And that's basically what it is. You want to hold on to, I'm from the ghetto, I'm thug. And yo, listen, that shit used to set the panel on fire.
But
Hey.
you see, like the guys that are really from the ghetto, they don't even want to talk about it. The
Right.
guys that they are not from there, or they didn't even have a lifestyle like that, that they was pure athlete, they are the
Bro.
one who want to pretend from the ghetto. You don't see Berlanga, you don't see a bunch of them. Like, dude, you are an athlete. You
let me-
never
let me-
was over there.
Let me ask y'all something, and I know this gonna register with CJ. When I say this one name, the $1 Million Man, Ted.
That's my guy.
Ted who?
Yo,
Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man.
exactly.
Right. So he.
You
what
must
he
not
would do,
follow
he'd
me on
knock you
IG.
out
That's
with
my
$100 in your mouth.
that's
You know,
my
it
IG
was-
name. It's a derivative of that, but yeah, absolutely. The $1 Million Man, Ted
So it was a
DiBiase. Shut
lane
up.
for it. So Devin could have rolled that lane with the clean
Yes.
cut. He could have been, because Emiliano, that's
Again.
Emiliano. He's in that lane right now. Like,
Emiliano just took over. The persona that I see he took over, I see he took over that Pitbull. When Pitbull was the street rhymer, he had the jerseys on, he'll just have the fitted jump off. When that dude became a pop star, he went to sunglasses, suit, first class. Yo, let me flick my collar. Let me straighten
the
up my
pencil suit.
jacket.
Yep.
Let me
The
have
women.
a bad chick go in an attaché case, open up an attaché case. It's just a brush in there so she could brush off my suit. That's who Dev should have been. But you would have been the black version of that. You feel what
Hey,
I'm saying?
I'm telling y'all, I want to lay
you
it
would have
out
been-
how the
you would have
boxing
been
game
the-
is different from pro wrestling. You can't
You would have
come
been
in
Theodore-
as the bad guy.
You would
You
have been
can't
Theodore
come in
Huxtable.
as the bad guy.
Hell
Before
yeah,
there was
that's
money
what-
made,
understand
it
what
was
I'm
Pretty
saying.
Boy.
Understand
Yeah,
what I'm
why
saying?
not? I am the
That
black
troll I
pretty
used to
boy
No,
with
you
money.
can't come in as
you
the bad guy
know?
up top.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all.
But hold on,
You
the
can do it.
troll I used
Hell
to
yeah.
use with saying you don't want to get your ass kicked by the rich guy, and I was like, you know what? I'm telling y'all, man, how many y'all could walk around? Y'all from the hood, and you got your ass kicked by Theodore Huxtable, bro. You ain't coming outside.
But you know how many kids come from the suburbs that they don't have nothing look up to because everybody think they come from the ghetto, but they don't come, and they want to look somebody up, like, you know, like it's a preppy guy and stuff like that, and look like them. They're tired to pretend that they're gangster or some shit like that. It's a bunch of kids like that. They don't
I'm
wanna
not saying it's a
pretend
good thing. I'm just speaking on the reality of public
No.
perception. You gotta
No,
relate
no,
to
no,
the
no.
people before you get out. Before you can be
50
yourself later on. You feel me? Does that make sense?
No, because
I'm
we
myself.
have 50 states. We have 48 states, one in Alaska and 2 islands, Hawaii and Puerto Rico. And each one is different and each one thinks different. What is good over there in California is not good over here in Texas or in Puerto Rico. What is good in Puerto Rico is not good in New York. What is good in New York is not good in Florida. So, you know, each state see it different. And
But
like
my
I think
counter-
y'all are being too idealistic and
No, but my counter
not
is
accepting
simple.
that.
Like
But the
the
counter
guys
to that
from
is
Texas
simple.
are
Damn.
totally
Abdullah Mason.
different.
The counter is different because Abdullah Mason, Bam Rodriguez, and Brian Norman Jr. are all younger than Devin. They're in this new class of boxers, and they're already the ones who are leading and charging the way into this new era of boxing.
Chuchu Carrington,
without
don't
doing
get out
what you're
Chuchu
saying
Carrington.
needs to
Chuchu
be done.
Carrington is in that boat too.
Who's that?
Chuchu Carrington.
Oh yeah, Shushu. But
Yeah.
Shushu, he's a little bit older because I think Shushu's like 29 right now. But
Yeah,
He-
but he's
he
starting
can-
that wave.
yeah, but what I'm saying, you also can
Caulfield.
put in, if you're gonna put in Shushu, I'd put in, to a certain degree Hitchens, but he's just got to tone it down a little bit more. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, bro, these are the guys that are changing this new perception of boxing. That just go out there. You want to tell somebody you that dude, your big mouth ain't gonna do it no more. You know what? Show me in the level of talent that you're fighting. Show me that you're willing to take the big fights and make the big fights. This is why Devin Haney is getting all of this credit for making the Brian Norman fight. No one's taking that away from him. But at the end of the day, where we're saying, we congratulate you on that, but you know you done fucked up, right?
Yeah,
And-
and I
and-
I like the
Oh.
Brian Kemp.
CJ,
You know.
CJ, this is what I wanted to say to CJ. Listen, man. You know how Floyd kind of come off, like you still see Floyd like on the plane. I seen him on a jet, and he had like, I guess he had like $1 million or $2 million in front of him right there. It's still people because of that with him in the clothes he wear and the jewelry and how immaculate he be. It's still people that just want to kick his ass just because, like, it's a way to get people to like want to kick your ass just because you made it, just because you look like success. And if I can take a chunk out of your ass, then I'll feel better. Like that's the lane. I'm not saying like he couldn't be, like he had to be like the bad guy, like where people really want to like where you invoke it. It's almost like a goody two shoes, almost like that role, where it's like, I want to wipe that fucking smile off your face. Like, it's people that would do that or would want to do that. There are people out here that's like that. Like they see Floyd, and because he's so successful, because he has so much money, because he's able to do these things, and he looked at like first class A1. They just want to kick his ass because of that. That's the lane. If you wanted to be like Floyd, I would have took that page out of that book, and the people still would want to kick your ass, but you could have been clean and proper and smooth with it. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to be.
You can't have it both ways. Okay. Let me actually let me respond to that, if you don't mind. No. As a black man, you can't do that. I'm sorry.
Floyd doing it.
You gotta no. Hold on.
Go ahead.
He had to evolve into that. He couldn't come in the game off top just being an arrogant dickhead, right? He was pretty. The name Pretty Boy says it all, right? So he was the baby face. He was the good guy. Yeah, and then he evolved into that once he got his clout up. I'm saying you can't come. Hold on. God damn, I can't cook for 10 seconds. You can't come in the game off top as the bad guy. That's all I'm saying. You have to evolve into that. Trust me, I know this. Man, y'all got it. I'll follow up later, but that's all I want to get it off. But you have to. My main point is you have to evolve into the bad guy. You can't just come in being an asshole.
Well,
CJ, you're from the Bay, right? CJ, you're from the Bay, right? That's from
exactly
where Devin Haney is. So yeah, he's like, of course, that's your boxer. That he's from your area.
No, homie, it's not even about that.
Yeah, it is.
I'm talking from a professional wrestling level. No, I don't dick ride any fighter. No. Tyson is my favorite fighter of all time. He's from fucking New York.
Are not the same because professional wrestling, you build a character for 40 years. A professional
It's the same concept though. Look into the underlying concept. You have to be popular in a certain way. Yes.
It's not.
Okay, tell me who came in the game as an asshole and made a ton of money then, if I'm wrong.
But hold on, CJ.
Okay. He came as a Macho Camacho, Hector el Macho Camacho. He came starting like an asshole, and he ended up his career like an asshole, and he make a lot of money. You know?
But look,
no, he was beloved. I disagree. I think he was beloved.
Wait a minute, I'm going to tell you all their names.
Oh, Mayorga is good. Okay. Maybe that's the exception. Mayorga was an asshole. You got it, dude. I'm actually agreeing with you.
Statewide. We're not just in California mentality. You ask me what I don't like California.
See,
you're letting
this
me
fucking guy.
This
fucking guy.
No, let's go. You ask me a question, I will answer it.
But
you want to know the name that started like a bad guy from the beginning? I will let you know.
Let me say something though.
Be a black man is not an excuse because black men been fighting in boxing.
It's not an excuse. I'm just telling you. I'm describing reality, the culture.
No,
you got it.
Reality in California. It's not the reality in the United States of America.
I've been all over. I've been to most states. Do you understand this?
How many states?
I've traveled.
How many?
26.
26
That's most.
states you've been, because I live in 11 states and I know the difference from each state. I live from Puerto Rico to California to Florida, Texas, Illinois, New York.
But you're gonna tell me as a Hispanic about being
out.
black. Okay, you
I'm
got
not
it.
a Hispanic, I'm an
But,
American.
but CJ,
that
let me be
speaks
proper
Spanish
though.
and English.
Let me be proper in what we missing at. This is not like we already passed what Devin came in at. So he already had his identity. Let's just say with the second win. So with the second win, they're going with this Debo Dev stuff, right? So he had already had established who he was before. So this is not, it wouldn't be like him coming in the game at this point. Like he would be at the point where like Pretty Boy turned into Money May. Like, so whatever angle he was he's twisting into like this Debo, like this.
At this point, okay,
Like,
maybe he's moving lines in. Now it can be the heel.
And, you know, he get a mulligan because Ryan had what he had in the system.
Absolutely. I'm with it.
But what I'm saying,
okay,
like,
yeah, you make a good point. At this point, he could be the heel. So yeah, but I'm saying you can't come in like that. But that's all.
Yeah,
okay.
right.
A minor disagreement.
You gotta get it how you live when you first come in and just be successful.
Mm-hmm.
But
absolutely,
at this juncture is what I'm saying as far as like the identity, like, because I think to a certain extent, I think all of these guys kind of went through. When you really look at it with a fine-tooth comb, a lot of these guys have went through somewhat of an identity crisis. We could say it with T.O. We can kind of say it with Shakur. We can kind of say it with Dev. Like, look at what Tank. Like, Tank he going through some stuff right now, and where it's like, okay, like we know who you were, like we know what's going on, but like we at a crossroads with a lot of these guys.
Yeah, but what
I agree. Okay, we zoom out. Yep, I'm with you.
What I was gonna say is this: when you really look at Floyd Mayweather's career, and you look at the Floyd Mayweather, young Floyd, when he was just knocking dudes out, where he had the one-hitter quitter, he could outbox you and knock you out. The thing people tend to miss is how that dude talked. Like how that dude talked, he was extra arrogant, and to a certain degree, it made me feel like, yo, this dude right here, he a problem. So then I wanted to see him against the Drunken Master, because I'm like, yeah, you talk all that shit, but let me see what you do against my guy, the Drunken Master over here. You feel what I'm saying? So when you see Floyd after those victories, he was always alluding that no matter who's in front of me, I'll give them their respect as a fighter, but to me, they all easy work. None of these guys can touch me. And I'm going to show you one after one after one after one. So there was always the underlying message. This is why when Floyd decided to become the villain, he was the best lucrative villain that I've ever seen, because he set the groundwork from how he came in. He had that air of arrogance. You feel what I'm saying? He let people know, I'm always willing to go out on my own. He was outspoken about certain contracts and certain things that he wanted, and if they didn't, and if it wasn't given to him, he was going to be spoken. He was going to be outspoken about it. You may not have seen it on the TV screen, but if you was reading the articles was telling you who Floyd Mayweather really the fuck was, bro. And he was destined for for the foundation and the era that he created. He knew he was going to create this era, because he kept on saying, y'all don't understand what's about to happen, the dynasty and all of this other kind of cryptic words that people weren't really catching up on. But when you look at his career as a totality, you say, yeah, this man was always going to be this dude. Because he had the weapons.
AC, real quick. AC, I want to tell you like this. You're a hell of a panelist. You know what I mean? A tremendous contributor, but there's only one CJ. no, I feel what you're saying. That's good. Yeah, he did talk that shit. Yeah, and that's why AB tried to emulate him,
in the
but
way
not
he came
the same
in through
success.
the door. Yeah, that's why AB couldn't come through the door the way he came through the door. Because AB, you got the talent, but when we saw the differences of two Floyd. We saw Floyd Mayweather, that's a young guy who can knock you out with one hand, or box you to death and beat you up really, really bad, like completely embarrass you. And
Embarrassing.
then he
Yeah.
kept that same trend on. Now I can't knock you out, but just go back and see how bad I beat some of these guys when I could knock dudes out. Look how bad I was beating these dudes up. Got them bloody messes. But
But
now
I
look
think
at
that
me.
was the problem in the Americans boxing, that they want to keep being Mayweather when it's one Mayweather, it's one Mike Tyson, it's one Holyfield, and they want to keep emulating a boxer that had his career already done. Be you, be your own boxer, do your own style, do
Yeah.
your own career. Forget about him, he did his shit already. Like, be you. And
Yeah.
trying to be because nobody else is doing that. Nobody else is trying to be an old timer from like Mexico. Nobody's trying to be the past boxer. Everybody want to be their own new boxer. Only the Americans trying to be Mayweather. Like, why? Like, come on, he's gone. Be you. Forget about him. Like, I don't know. That's the part that killed me. Like, they got so much talent and they can do so many stuff and they can be themselves and they want to keep imitating somebody that is already retired. That's my point. And CJ, it's not personal. I don't have bad blood.
Oh no, we got no beef, champ. I mean, I take bullets every day. It's cool.
But look, it
We
was the
good.
same way in music, bro. It was a point in time where you had a Redman, a DMX, a Jay-Z, a Nas, a Busta, a Scarface, like a Tupac, like a Biggie. Like nobody wanted. It was a sin to sound the same. And then you went through the Kurt Cobains, who it was like okay to sound like Drake, and it was okay to sound like, and it's the same thing. It's like now these guys, they saw the success he had, they think they got to do exactly what he did, and to a certain extent, that's a lot of their downfall because
And I
you
think
can't
that's
live
why
up
Tank
to
got
what
so
he
many
did.
fans.
Yeah,
You
how are
can't
you going to
be
be the
what you
man
were.
if you're trying to be somebody else? Yeah.
You see
Impossible.
what you see what AB had the one-liners. He had the quick comeback. Salute easily, babe. He had the one-liners and the quick comebacks and all of that. But like he wasn't running home from the club. He was staying getting slizzard in the club. You know what I'm saying? Floyd was
Word.
running home from the club and running 5 to 7 miles.
I
Listen to
done
what
that before.
Emiliano
I done
Vargas.
that.
See, listen, Emiliano Vargas just said it. Like he just said it. Like when they interviewed him, because he fought the other night. He fought Saturday night on the Espinosa, right? They asked him. They said, "Well, he said, man, when I remember, man, seeing Floyd. Floyd said he ran 5 to 7 miles, so I'm running 5 to 7 miles a day." It's like, so if you want to emulate the things that he did to make him successful, but
Word.
Emiliano
The
is still
discipline.
being
Emulate that.
Emiliano. He still got his own identity, but he's doing the things that made Floyd successful.
Yeah,
Like-
like money, the thing that made him successful. But I think why Tank have so many fans, because he's been the only one that beat Tank Davis and fight like Tank Davis.
Right.
He come from the Mayweather camp, like a bunch of other boxers, but he never tried to be Mayweather or box like Mayweather. Nothing.
Okay.
He even talk
Maybe
about
that's why he's popular. I'm sorry to cut you off, homie, but that's why he's popular. But he has some serious character flaws that I wouldn't want my son to emulate.
Hey. I don't. Personal
man.
life is
Hey, man.
personal life. Boxing career is another.
It's all in the
story,
game,
man.
right?
I don't care what he do. I don't care what
we don't
happened
know, like-
behind his doors. That's his problem. The people that want to hang out with him and shit like that, But anyway, he did what he have to do. Look, he got almost. He fucked it up, but whatever. A big deal with this guy. So is what you do in the ring, is how you perform yourself and present yourself.
Sound like you
Sucre
caping,
Matias.
but,
Sucre Matias, he don't have like a big promoter or big shit, but he been himself, he's making his money. Even if I don't like him, Teofimo, well, he's a copy of Macho Camacho a little bit, but he's been doing his. That's what I'm saying. I
I like Matias. I like Matias. I mean, tragic
Devin
what happened
win,
inside the
awesome.
ring, but I'm sure that wasn't his intention. But
Hey,
now it sounds like you caping though for Tank on that note. Like you could say, "Oh, I separate the fighter from his personal life," but why would I be a a fan of a man that I wouldn't want my son to grow up to be like. You feel me? I mean, okay, maybe we just differ there.
Yeah, we see boxing different because we got a lot of story with our Puerto Rican boxers, you know. And if we merge their personal life and their career, then we're gonna hate half of our freaking champions. So
well, fuck
whatever.
it.
You know, it is what it is. You know, like we don't look at that. That's how we see boxing. I told you, every fucking place got their own points of view of boxing, how they look at their boxers and what they do. Like not everybody, you know.
I don't subscribe to throwing.
Okay, hold on. Hypothetical. I'm gonna run this, and this may be extreme.
We
maybe
even got a guy that
but
is in jail right now for killing his wife, and we even talk about that.
I'm glad you took it there. So you fuck with that?
No,
you fuck with him?
No, we don't fuck with him. He's in jail. But sometimes we have to talk about his career, and we talk about his career. You know, like what we gonna do? It is what it is.
You ain't gotta do shit, but you could not support him.
But all I was,
Verdejo?
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is this: at the end of the day, I don't want to speak definitively off of any accusations. And the same person who's out here, you know, trying to, you know, say X, Y, and Z because they have a huge platform. You have to look at that person too, because part of the topic of this show was when certain people start talking a little bit too crazy, maybe it's time to put them under a microscope.
And
then when you put them under that microscope, hold on, then you put them under that microscope, then you'll find out that the same type of accusations happen to you, but they won't talk about it.
No, but
those same accusations are happening to you, and nobody came out and made a definitive statement about your punk ass. So at the end of the day, bro, an accusation, and we 17 days in. Listen, that's all it is to me, and I'm not going to defame anybody. I'm not going to jump on it and then try to make it seem like this person is the worst human being in the fucking world, because I look at it like this: if my son decided to train with Tank Davis to become a champion and make Tank Davis money, nigga, you going over there. Period. Fuck what anybody gotta say.
No, but
I'll respond to that, but I'm gonna let a boy do it first. Go ahead.
But you fuck with Mike Tyson, or?
I do.
Okay.
That's my favorite fighter all the time.
This rapper, what is I have his name right now.
And I got a response for you. You think you pointing out hypocrisy, but go ahead, champ.
The other one,
who?
It's not Biggie. What's the other one that was rapping against him?
Tupac.
You fuck with Tupac?
Absolutely, and I know the details of both those cases. I'm glad you brought that up.
You feel what I'm saying? Like that shit happened.
No, I do not.
Hey,
I do not, and let me unpack it.
Told me you
let me reason why.
A rapist, a convicted rapist.
No.
They got crime. Yes, if you look in the record, that's
convicted. You said, but you said the first word first. So let me address this. Can I respond? Ah, damn. Okay, because I'm not a hypocrite. Yes, I lived through this shit, man. I was a big fan of both of them in the 80s and 90s. Tyson started in the 80s, Pac in the 90s. But keep going. I have a high level of suspicion, especially after being a fucking adult and seeing how women get down, that those were bogus charges. And let me explain why. First of all, I had a false domestic violence claim on me. Luckily, she, I don't know what you call it, rescinded. She fucking recanted her story when the police got there because I didn't have no marks. She didn't have any marks on her, rather. It was bullshit. She threw a glass at me. Cool. Okay, so I know that women can make up shit in the heat of the moment, is my point. Now, getting to the specifics of Tupac and Tyson. Tyson was gone on public record, and this is anecdotal, right? But if you look in a man's eyes and if you've been through it and how he responded to that female reporter, like saying that, I wish I would have did it because at least I would have fucking did jail time for something. That's just pure pain from a man's heart. You feel me? It's like, what the fuck? You took everything from me. Fuck this shit. And as far as Pac, yeah, y'all know that was a fucking that was arranged. He echoed the same sentiments. It's funny that they were friends. It's funny you bring both of them up. I fuck with both of them, obviously, but yeah, he was like, shout out to who was that Haitian dude? Haitian Jack. Yeah, he was the primary culprit in that, and he didn't even hit. The crazy thing is, she gave him head on the floor, on the dance floor that night. He didn't even smash. His homie smashed, but since he was the face, had the most money, then she put the lawsuit on him. So again, maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I do think both of those cases were bullshit, and I know mine was definitely bullshit. I've never touched any woman. Go ahead.
But then Tank Davis is real facts and shit like that.
Okay,
right?
hold on.
Right? That one.
Damn, you're letting me. I like how you're setting this up for me. Only because, hold on, let me respond. Only because it was multiple occasions. One bitch, one ex-wife can accuse me of hitting her, but if I never get arrested for it, it's probably bullshit, right? If 3 or 4 women accuse you of the same thing, or there's smoke, there's fire. That's why I make that different, differentiation. Not everyone is full of shit. Sometimes you're full of shit.
Yeah, I don't.
But we know. But hold on. Let me say this. Let me say this real quick, because I let people. I'm not like these other places where people mute people. Where people mute people and do all that. I ain't gonna do that. But we already know.
I appreciate that.
Get it off, CJ, because we already know you don't like Tank. So we know you don't like
It's
Tank.
not about that.
Let you get it out. You get it out.
No, it's not about that. God damn, man, I misunderstood.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
We already know that. So I mean, you're gonna.
Come on, dude.
If it's something towards Tank, you're gonna. He's not gonna.
No, if he had a real fight, I'll fuck with him.
But he's not gonna get the better. But we know that. So let's just. It ain't no need to harp on it.
Oh, so you're making excuses. So we know he's not gonna take a real fight. So I'm hating because he doesn't take a real fight. Okay, you got it.
No, the fact that you said he won't take a real fight.
How many titles defense he got already? Because he have his title defense with top boxers that earn it. Each one of them. He haven't go up weight class, chasing
just
or nothing like that, or fighting with.
I don't understand this
he
shit.
Has defend his
it's my fault. Dudes don't move properly. Okay.
For him, in 135 pounds, that he's a 5'5" man. He don't even. That's the top of what he can make.
Listen here, bro. I dropped that link in that group chat that where Bob was talking about. Where Bob was talking, he wanted Teofimo Lopez, he wanted Lomachenko and Shakur to fight Tank. He said he felt all 3 of them could beat him. He said this on 3 different occasions over the span of a year. Right? What I'm saying is this.
All right.
He knew that he couldn't make the fight with Teo because Teo was going through his mental illness, and then he was making all of these weird moves. And then Teo went up to 140. Loma, he tried to make the fight with Loma. The reason why Shakur wasn't the first one, because Bob was telling Shakur, listen, at the end of the day, the market would rather see Tank Davis fight Teofimo Lopez or Lomachenko first. He said he doesn't mind making the fight, and he would love to make the fight after the smoke cleared with Shakur and Tank. But he was telling Shakur, the fight is only going to happen if you re-sign with us, if you want us to be your promoter. If you want to stay on Top Rank, you feel what I'm saying? We can give you the Tank fight, but you got to re-up with us, re-sign with us. Shakur went a different way. So basically what Bob is telling you is, where your argument is saying he's not in a real fight, Bob Arum was telling you he was trying to make these so-called real fights that you said Tank is not trying to make. Bob was telling you he wanted to make those fights. He didn't have a problem doing business with PBC to make those fights because they were all good for boxing. So at the end of the day,
I understand exactly what you're saying.
But at the end of the day,
let me respond like this.
Let me finish. What I'm saying is this. At the end of the day, you can't hold that man accountable for what these dudes didn't want to do. And then dudes like you come out and say he doesn't want a real fight. And that's where we look at guys and say, all right, I don't know if this dude is really knows, or you just a hater, or you just gonna ignore the information that's out there.
That's cool.
You feel what I'm saying? Because I posted it in the group chat for everybody, but then you still come up here after I posted it, and I said it's right there. And I was saying, if y'all need more whatever, because on these panels, I can't get it, I can't put it right because then I got to type it in. But on my phone, I could, if I'm in that group chat, I'm good with it. I'll bring the receipts and start licking shots all day. But if you're not going to look at it and then stand on the argument that you're going to stand on, then it's like, bro, what is your point? We can have a great conversation, but you got to look at the stuff, and then maybe you may come up with strong talking points after you've seen the material, which then makes for a better debate. Instead of it seeming like
I'm gonna be honest. You might be right. With the past week, been going through some shit, so I haven't been active in the group chat. I didn't see it. Read between the lines. Y'all know what's going on. But so I'm not saying that it's a pity party, but it's the case. I didn't look at it, okay? My overarching point is, does it seem like Tank now, all the shit, the past is behind us, right? Does it seem like he's trying to take on tough fights now?
We'll see. I don't know.
I mean, that's an open question.
Because there's been no announcements of what's going on with him. Not that I've seen.
You would say no, right? There's no evidence that he is. Okay, fair enough.
Well, no, I don't think enough time has went by just yet, because he thought he was gonna get
that's evidence right in itself for what he was trying to do before that. I'm sorry to cut you off, it's your show, but that's evidence within itself, right? What he was trying to do.
Well, I mean, he had a bird in the hand. Like, don't they say a bird in the bread, right? Better than two in the bush?
Just say it's about the bread. I'm cool with that. I ain't mad at him. I'm
but that's the
in my 40s.
CJ,
I'm trying to cash out too.
Like, this what people don't understand. Tank has always said it was about the money. Like, I don't know why, but these other guys said it was about legacy and turn around and then make it about money. Tank always said it was about the money. So I don't know why y'all hate him. I don't know why people
at least he's being consistent. Absolutely. I don't hate nobody. If he's been consistent on that point, and I think, and thinking back, you're actually probably right. I don't think he ever fronted and saying he was trying to be the best of the best.
Right.
So, boxing is about the money. The only way you become the best of the best and get the money is fighting the best guys. If you're pick and choosing and trying to create something and ask for big amount of money that nobody gonna pay for it, nobody gonna go to watch it, and nobody cares. You know, that's how the old school guy make money, and they fill up arenas fighting the best with the best. You know, it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna pick and choose and I'm gonna claim I'm the best, but I'm not fighting the top of the division or whatever, or I'm looking to the no. They used to fight and they keep fighting. You know, like now these kids they want to pretend they're good. They want to pretend they are this big thing. They want to ask this big bag of money, but they cannot even fill the arena, and they cannot even perform at the top level as been asked. They cannot even fight three times a year neither. But whatever, that's another story, you know. But bro, boxing is about the money. Whoever say that go in the ring for glory or having, he's a liar. Even Crawford lie about it. What he did at the end of the day, he went for the big bag, Canelo Alvarez, because it's about the money. The titles are for the fan base. The real thing is the money, because boxers don't eat titles. They don't use titles to pay the bills. They don't use titles to buy homes. They use money. So they want money.
But I think ideally, not to cut you off and let you cook, but ideally they should coincide, right? The best boxers with the titles should be making the most bread. I mean, that's the ideal situation. maybe I'm being too optimistic on this shit, but yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Well, yeah, but it's not. Doesn't matter. You got 4 titles. You have to keep fighting and fill up the arenas because yes, you can be a good boxer. Or it's thousands of good boxers. Look how many champions we had and all the divisions and all this shit. But two, you need to have a charisma, and you need to fill up arenas. You need to make people come to arena. This shit now, people are too. They are afraid of social media and trash talking, and they don't back up the trash talking, and they're gonna put them in the videos getting their ass whooped or getting knocked down or what. Fuck it, this is entertainment. Why you get into it? It's a bunch of shit going on. I will never say a boxer that make his fight look easy. The other guy is a bomb because maybe like Goyas Valenzuela, they was claiming he was a bomb for Matias. But then the other night, he just whooped the number 1 contender for the IBF. You feel me? Like he knocked the guy, Lindolfo Delgado, with Goyas Valenzuela this last weekend. So what that you feel me? Like you cannot claim those boxers are bombs because they are professional boxers. Maybe the other boxer is so good that make the fight look easy. Like I don't.
I'd rather give a fighter credit than discredit the other fighter.
Like I don't like this guy Shakur sometimes because he run whatever. But a lot of people like that stuff.
Oh my
whatever.
goodness.
But it's very fucking difficult. Do it for fucking 36 minutes. Running in the ring, moving, hitting, and this and that. This fucking difficult too. Not everybody can be that agile. So whatever, but if you sell yourself, you can sell that because we're in a capitalistic world. You can sell whatever, but you need to know how to sell it. That's what we talk about. Devin Haney, he used the wrong to sell himself. Okay, you're good and shit, but you now with this Norman fight, if he win it, he gonna win fans. You feel me? Now let's see how they sell themselves. That's I'm not. Bro, like, because I don't like some attitude and shit. I will never gonna trash a boxer that is trying to perform and box. They train. Training is not easy for a freaking fight. Like, people think like, oh yeah, man, fuck that. That's hard. And they put their life in the line. Like, look what happened with, and that guy just have it a new. We have in Puerto Rico. We got another one that he get paraplegic. You remember that, buddy? I forgot his name. The Puerto Rican guy that was from a boxer from California. He was fighting.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. I forgot his name. He was 154 pounds, I think. Anyway, I forgot his name.
Old school?
No, it was not too long ago. It was like in 2015 or some shit like that happened. You mentioned it. The heavyweight, the skinny one was fighting. I am bad for the names. Oh my god, I'm awful with names. My god. Anyway, but I don't hate boxers. I just sometimes they don't sell themselves properly. Look, Mayorga knew how to sell himself. He was gonna be the bad guy. This
motherfucker lost so many times, but yeah, it was a great hill.
I'm gonna lose. Fuck it, but I'm gonna cash out losing anyway.
Talking that shit.
But I'm gonna sell the fucking fight. Now people, they don't want to sell it like that. Like this, I don't know. They scared of the reels. I don't know. Like, what the fuck? Like, why?
Oh, because social media is so much bigger and it wasn't back then. Okay, that's a good point. I feel you though. Mayorga take a ton of L's, but he sold his shit. He cashed out. Shout out to him.
Well, look, we are in a he said Pritchard Colon. But we are in
Ese mismo, that was the guy, Pritchard Colon. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, but we are in the era now to where it's like what Anthony Yard said. He was like, man, most people are scared to lose. And you know why? Because
pussy.
Right now we in the era to where it's like, if that's all you've been doing, it'll be pretty hard to go do something else and duplicate that money that you used to getting.
Oh, absolutely. No,
You know what I'm saying?
next to impossible, right? You would think. I mean, how many fields can make as much as a top tier boxer? No, okay.
See, the only see certain fan bases save certain fighters. See, like if Pitbull was to get face planted, if he was to get face planted like how Manny Pacquiao did, he's still gonna have a fan base that's gonna be like, man, get back in the saddle and ride the horse.
Yes, Sirski. I was gonna speak on this. I'll maybe I'll go tomorrow.
But if somebody like me got a draw,
got a draw.
It's over for me.
Yeah,
I wasn't shit. I wasn't never shit. I can have a 93% knockout ratio. I ain't shit.
Yeah, no, buddy. Yo, yeah, my bro.
You're not lying.
When Matias lose, he was like, yo, boom, let me see what he got. Like he caught him off. Like, mira, Nico.
Let's see how he bounces back, right?
I stay down. If they lose or win, whatever, I stay down. Like Nico Flat got his ass whooped the other weeks. Oh my god, that was nasty. But I still down with him. You feel me? Like I am that type of man. Like my boxer, I don't give a damn. Like, well, you win, you lose. Okay, I go down with you. The ones I hate,
what's your name?
Trash about you. I don't care. You know, whatever. Not talking.
Malaza, I want to ask you a question respectfully. Give me a moment. I don't want to make any assumptions, so I'm asking you openly the question. What what country are you from originally?
What you mean?
There's a point to it. I'm not being racist or nothing like that. Where are you from? I'll tell you where I'm from. I'm from East Oakland.
Well, I'm from Puerto Rico. What do you mean?
Okay, you're from Puerto Rico. I appreciate you answering that. I'm not doing anything. Bear with me. Do you feel that the Puerto Rican fans would support their fighter more in a loss than the American black fans would?
But that depends the state that you are, because each state is different. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Like in Texas, their guy can lose and shit, and the Texans gonna keep backing their boxer. Like you go to where my boy is, Maryland, you go to Michigan, Detroit, you go to that area, their boxer lose, they're gonna kick it in the curve. That happened in New York too. You know, that East Coast stuff up here is that type of way. In Puerto Rico, we don't give a damn if they win or they lose. Because you don't see we don't give a damn. We make parades for winning, losing, ties, whatever. We don't give a damn.
Yeah. With that.
It's just like, look, Edgar Berlanga. We love that shit. He was trashed. People are scared of that. That's what I'm talking about. They're scared of that. Like, he was trash talking. He got his ass knocked down, and then he make a video to fight with Jake Paul. You know, he gave a fuck.
Bullshit.
But just to give.
I appreciate your response
to what he's saying is, Hector Macho Camacho, he had a good rise, and then he started losing, and he was an asshole on his rise, and he was an asshole on the way down. But New Yorkers still love to see. You go to Spanish Harlem, bro, that dude is still a hero.
Yeah. Sab Judah is another one like that. Sab Judah too.
Yes, and even that, like I can't think of any parts of Brooklyn that if Zab shows up downtown Brooklyn or anything, he not gonna get love. Now another fighter like Gerald Big Baby Miller and Shannon Briggs might get his, because Shannon Briggs became like a cool asshole. Like asshole you want on your side. You feel what I'm saying? And shit like that. But, at the end of the day, a person like Gerald Big Baby Miller, no, you're not gonna get no love. You feel what I'm saying? Teofimo might get love, but it might be 50-50.
But look, AC, I'm gonna bring up this name, and I know this probably gonna rub CJ the wrong way. But this is for CJ.
Y'all make a lot of assumptions.
CJ and Project Bimmers, man. Errol Spence, man.
Yeah.
Like Errol Spence.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Actually, go ahead.
Errol Spence was able to consolidate 3 out of 4 of the Infinity Stones. And because he lost to Bud, it was all kind of memes. A year later, it was a celebration. 2 years later, another celebration, an anniversary, like a historic, like it was Super Bowl. But when they lost, and when he lost to Bud, they wanted this man to retire. But guess what? When Bud beat Canelo, you know what they said? Some of the same people said, "Oh man, Canelo, he gonna be all right. He only lost to the #1 pound for pound," and that was us.
Body.
That was us that
you
did
don't
that.
watch my
That was
channel,
those
do you?
people that look just like me, look just like Earl, who did that.
And look, Canelo.
You don't watch my channel.
Mayweather. Then he lose against the other guy over there in 175, and then he lose again, and his people still got his back. That's what I'm saying. Not every play is gonna go the same route with every boxer. Like come out. Like each boxer got their own aura. The place that they like in the States, like we are freaking, each state is different, and each state got their own. Like Texas is football, church, and guns. Like for real, that those people, football and church is something crazy. The Sundays, oh my god, like yo, like you go to Pittsburgh, and over there the sodas are called pops. You get a pops, and a popsicle is a lollipop. You feel me? You go to Connecticut, then they call the subs, they call it a freaking I forgot that. Over here, I don't know, another fucking shit. You feel me? Every place you go, Florida is another freaking story town over there, down there. Like, and it depends. So it's the boxer too. Some boxer bring the aura that they lose or win, you are behind them. Some other boxers, you just want to see them lose. Some other, this depend of it. Like, and you cannot just say everybody gonna be the same just because. It's each boxer is different. That's what I'm saying. Like each era is different.
For me, I wanted to ask CJ because we kind of got off of it.
I gotta speak,
way. But it was basically when I was telling you how I feel. One of the fights was going to go. What are your keys to victory for Devin Haney to win this fight with Brian Norman and not be put to sleep?
Okay, cool. I mean, stick to his usual game plan. Stick behind that sticky jab, outbox. You know what I mean? I know that's maybe oversimplifying it, but absolutely, if he goes in there on an ego trip, trying to do what he did against Ryan, then he might get stopped. So I would not advise that. The 1-2, basic. It might be boring to y'all, but that's his key to victory. I do want to address what Body was saying. You make, again, you must not watch my channel because you make a lot of assumptions about me. It's cool. Okay, I am not even a Devin fan. I'm not a Tank hater. None of the above. Watch my content, homie. So, see, y'all made me shit slip my my mind. But what the fuck was Body? Body was hating in some degree, and I want.
I was hating.
It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me.
No, all I'm saying is then give me your keys to victory of how. I mean, I know you said, but can you elaborate on, like, because there's a chance the way Devin throws his jab, if you're looking at different fight breakdowns and you're using your own eyes and everything like that, Devin has a tendency of when he throws his jab, he's
the bow and arrow
foot because it's a step in jab, but he's a little too heavy in being on his front foot, and that heaviness causes his arm to drop, which leads him to be countered by the left. That's what Ryan caught him with. Ryan caught it the first knockdown was off Dev throwing his jab and Ryan catching him because he's so heavy on his front jab. So if that's one of the keys, how does he improve that? Because have you seen any footage of him actually improving that?
No, and that's a great question, but absolutely, he would need to be more balanced. When he's throwing that, since that is his greatest punch. You know what I mean? His main weapon, the jab, for distance. But in this fight, I mean, the the reaches are similar. Brian doesn't have as educated a jab as Norman, I would say, but yeah, he needs to definitely stay balanced, not overextend. That's a great point. I mean, I haven't been looking at this. I'm real. Like when I don't know some shit, I'll admit it. I don't pretend to be the all knowing. So okay, maybe I could go and look at some footage because we're less than a week out, right? So there should be something up. Good question. Okay, but I would say I would be surprised if he hasn't been focusing on that. You feel me? Because at this level, he knows what his weaknesses are and how to address them. He's not just going to go in there blind. I would assume.
So let me good dialogue, man. Good dialogue there. Project Bimmers. Keys for Dev are to outbox, keep circling Brian, impose his IQ on Brian, make Brian feel the difference in levels by setting traps, frustrate Brian, and take Brian's only weapon away. If Deb can get rounds in the bag early and make it to where Brian needs a KO to win, then he's in a great position from there.
That's a good plan.
And yeah, I would say those are textbook answers. The only issue with that is salute to CJ Rich's favorite fighter, Mike Tyson. He said everybody have a plan till they get punched in the face. Word. And I believe that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get punched in the face, and all of those things are gonna go out the window. And this is what I always land on when it comes to Dev. He spent a lot of time fighting these guys where he's had all those advantages. This is the same thing I said before the Ryan Garcia fight, to where it's different when you've been imposing your will and doing the thing that you've been doing to guys who are not your height and don't have the same reach. And then you don't have the power, and you have a history now of getting punched on, and now you have a little intrepidation by getting hit. The last performance didn't show that you grew, because we asked, this is the question we always ask, and then this is what I asked AC. I said, listen, watching this fight with Jose Ramirez, did you walk away with more questions or did you walk away with more answers? And we both concluded that we walked away with more questions after that Jose Ramirez fight. So in a training camp, in one training camp, you can work on some things, but it's very hard to like stylistically and to like get it down packed against a guy like this, where you're assuming that he's not gonna be able to cut off the ring. You're assuming that his jab ain't as good as yours. Like you're assuming all of that when his jab, when it looks like his jab is like a Jamal Charlo's jab, to where Jamal Charlo has knocked people out from a jab. Like this dude's jab is like somebody's the typical right hand. Like that's how his jab is. You know what I'm saying? So
I got a question, because this is my question. No, it's not bad. It's for me, for Devin, if they learn this, because Norman Jr. got a nasty hook. Not so fast like Ryan, because Ryan hook is super fast, but he got it fast and powerful. And the problem is, like, if they don't accept that Ryan knocked his ass out, and if they keep in their mind that was Austrian only, and say no, the excuse was the weight and the oath, and they don't accept that as a camp. I'm not saying that accept it outside.
Turn the temperature up. Let's turn it up. I'm ready to cook. If you don't prepare
yourself for that hook, because you're saying no, I'm not gonna. That's my question for him. Like, do you? And for Haney father, because he's the corner, right? Like that's another thing. The corner is his father. Let's see how these two corners work, because it's not just the boxer that get in the ring, it's the corner too, and how they gonna explain what is going on in the fight and how they have to adjust, how they have to move, whatever. But if they learn their lesson from Ryan Garcia's fight and fighting an opponent that is your side or a little bigger, You know, the distance is different because it's not the punch is not coming down up. The punch is coming actually straight to you or maybe up. You know, so it's different because when the punch is coming down up, you see it's a different way to see the punch coming. You know, so do they learn that lesson? They gonna be prepared for that? Because I like it. You know what I say that because I saw the other day Trinidad versus the Oscar, right? And Trinidad best weapon was his right hook, and Oscar best weapon was his freaking right left hand. You know that the jab. So, but the problem, Oscar was ready for the hook. Trinidad was ready for the jab, but then each other like Oscar throw the hook and Trinidad wasn't ready for that, and Trinidad throw the jab, and De La Hoya wasn't ready for that. So that's what I'm thinking. Like these guys have prepared for the hook and the jab, and the problems that come to fight to a guy that is the same size, or they just gonna go cocky and play fool.
I don't see my issue.
My man.
Is
I'm sorry, it was too long.
No, I got to get this off real quick. I'm not going to be long winded. Give me 10 seconds. I want to address the homie. I want to know what percentage. It's going to be telling either way. I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but what percentage difference do you think that the PEDs, the Osterine, played in that fight?
For me, like nothing. That was point something. That was
okay.
Like Osterine.
That told me all I need to know. That told me all I need to know. It's okay to cheat. Hold on. It's okay to cheat if you don't like the opponent. You got it.
It's okay. I'm not talking about.
Is that right?
Both guys got in the ring and they fought and they are men. And that
so he gets a pass. He gets a pass for PEDs. No, just say it.
So if he got if he go to the ring with that attitude and that mentality, he gonna get knocked down.
That's all I need to know, homie.
And
I know where you at.
That's what I'm saying. If he go with that mentality and claiming that in his brain,
it's okay.
He's gonna get his ass knocked down.
It's okay if you don't like the other fighter, or I'm not even gonna. Body knows what I'm talking about. I'm not even gonna go there. But okay, I get it. I get it. But it's okay. No, it doesn't matter. Cheat to win. Jose Canseco. Cheat and snitch everybody. Snitch on everybody. Yep.
Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. Like, people can talk about Brian Norman's left hook till they're blue in the face, and I think that's going to be the biggest mistake what Devin Haney's camp is going to do, because you're going to be prepared for only one of the weapons that he can unleash on you. People are forgetting that the Santillan knockout stoppage was all uppercuts. He was measuring this man and uppercutting the shit out of him. And when he hit Santillan with that last uppercut that made his whole body wiggle and shit like that on one leg, bro, don't sleep on the dude's uppercuts, because he can stop you with that. He's got a stoppage off of his jab. And people also forget his right hand. His right hand is just as dangerous as the left hand. But he relies off the left hand because of the stance and shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? The versatility he can use off of it. But he crack you with that right, you still going to sleep. So for me, it's just like, you know what, bro? My issue is with this. The way I'm seeing you train, the way I'm seeing you do a lot of things you're doing, you're not taking this dude seriously, because it only looks like you're preparing for one weapon, the most talked about weapon. Meanwhile, this dude is gonna unleash some shit, because his straight right is what dropped the tall Spanish dude, the tall Puerto Rican fighter. So he hit him with a straight right that dropped him. So at the end of the day, bro, I think that I don't know how they're training, but this is why I'm saying, if you keep saying this man is on your level and you're saying that you're gonna show all of these levels and outbox him, you're only preparing, and that talking point is based on you thinking he's one-dimensional and he only has the one trick. And that's the part where most people who are looking at both of these guys, and me being a longtime fan of Devin Haney, I'm saying, listen, this is the first fight I'm going against you, bro, because you don't understand who's in front of you. You don't understand the assignment. And honestly, the closer and closer the fight gets, I just have less and less of a view and a vision that tells me this is where Devin Haney can win this fight. Because the Devin Haney that everybody is talking about to beat Brian Norman is a Devin Haney that existed before the Ryan Garcia fight, when he was beating up little niggas.
No,
Yeah,
what I'm saying is the auto jab and a hook is a recipe for disaster. And if you don't prepare for that, and you said, yeah, you're gonna prepare for the hook, you have to prepare for the jab, for every strong punch. Remember, Norman Jr. have long arms. He's a tall guy, so you're thinking you're gonna throw this jab because you got a distance, and next thing your ass is in the floor because don't learn the lesson of protecting your chin. You know,
let me say this. Let me say this. This is why I say, man, we're gonna have to see on Saturday, but this is something that really told me everything I need to know. A lot of people say, oh well, it was Ryan's left hook. It wasn't just Ryan's left hook, it was his right hand, because the left side of Devin's face was just as fucked up as the right side. And after the fight, they asked him, they said, well, was it the left hook? Did it surprise you? He was like, yeah, it surprised me. Like, but you said he was a C-level fighter. You said,
I think he was capping.
You said he was. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so you can't defend the character flaw and why people don't like him because he be capping. Like, he the same dude who said Linares didn't hurt him right after that fight, right? And then like 3 months later say, yeah, I might have been hurt. It's like, well, like, dude, just be real.
Which one is it?
Abdullah Mason got dropped.
Okay,
he said, yeah,
I can understand
dropped.
that.
He said, yeah, I got dropped. He said, I hate to say it, but it's something that need to happen. And yeah, it grew. It showed that I can get knocked down and get back up. But he took ownership of the shit. See, Devin he didn't take no ownership of it. And he's doing the same. He's saying the same script that he had going into this one. He could be 100% just saying it. But the whole I'm levels above, and I'm like, how can you be levels above when you
went 3-3 in the amateurs?
You're still bigger than this guy. And the thing is, like, people, and then Project Beamers, he brought up Regis. Like, because of what he did. Regis, it was a one-way rehydration clause in that fight with Regis. So if we're gonna scrap, we gave him a mulligan for the Ryan stuff.
No.
Blame it on Osterring. Hold on. Blame it on Osterring.
Skirt. I just want to clarify something. A one-way rehydration clause when Regis was the champ?
Yes.
Break that down.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. I showed it 1,000,000 times.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying you capping, but I mean, that's A side.
Regis, whatever, it's okay. You know, he was bigger, whatever. But but he got his ass knocked down, and trying to erase that is gonna pay later, and that's what people are trying.
You don't give a damn. I see where you at. You just about what you see in the ring. You don't give a damn if it's PEDs or the weight or whatever. It's just okay, cool.
He got money for the weight. He and his father choose to keep going with the fight with the red flags. That was
not with the PEDs, bitch. The weight, not the PEDs. No one ever said it's cool if you take steroids. No one said that shit.
In the weight when he walked.
No one said it's cool if you take PEDs. Was that in the clause? Was that in the contract?
Red flags before the fight.
Was that in the contract? Yes or no? I'm not gonna let you dance, champ. Was PEDs in the contract?
That was the 8.
I
don't know if that is PEDs, because
fuck
that
you.
doesn't make no enhancement.
Let me calm down. Let me calm down.
Osterring don't do no.
It was obviously not
nothing to the body.
Yeah, it's not personal, but just I wish you would be honest and say they never agreed to fight someone on PEDs.
Hey, look, Mailer's out like one of my day ones, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let him get it out. You ain't gotta curse at him and stuff, man. Like, chill out, bro.
I know that was a little extra. I apologize,
but look, read that. Former WBA, WBC light welterweight champion Regis Prograis revealed that Devin Haney put a rehydration limit on him for their fight last December, while Haney rehydrated to whatever he wanted. Like, it was so bad that the sanctioning body could have actually like not let that fight go on. Like, but Regis is a G. He just ain't make no excuses. So it's like that Gladiator shit. Like when I said on the movie Gladiator, like on that last scene, it's like the Coliseum didn't know that Buddy stabbed him up under the thing, but like when it comes out that
That's
okay,
funny as
well,
hell. Come on.
But this is what I want to
No,
say.
no, no. I was just watching that.
CJ, to where
The funny thing is, I've been watching that
facts.
for the last few nights.
You want to sit up, and this is what I'm not going to do. Like, you gonna sit up here, you deny facts. Like that's facts. Like, we not
Me?
gonna do that.
No,
bro.
no.
Like, especially when you run around just believing opinions. You believe accusations
No,
and opinions.
I'm not.
Somebody show you facts and you still making excuses.
No, how did I become the bad guy? I didn't say shit. I didn't say that. What?
Stuff like that. But when somebody show you facts, you still got an excuse. We not gonna do that.
Yeah, but
Again, this is new information to me, so I understand that. But let me. I know you're gonna hate me for this, but it's not explicitly. I know the California, sanctioning body rules, and it's not official tissue that it's against the rules. It was a bill that never got passed, but it is egregious. I'll give you that. It's extra. I don't like the spirit of it coming in that much heavier than your opponent. I'll give you that. Again, I'm not even. AC is a bigger Devin fan than me. I'm just trying to be fair. I'm trying to call shit down the middle, but
yeah, and I'm calling
don't
it
put
down
me
the
in the
middle.
mix.
Like, if you listen to me, you hear I give both my perspectives, and you'll understand that based on the reason why I'm going against him completely in this fight is because you haven't left me with anything that tells me you moving up, facing this guy, and this also allows me to talk about Project Beamer's comment. When I say Devin doesn't understand the assignment, is because when you understand the assignment, you won't call the other guy a bum.
Yeah.
When you understand the assignment, you're understanding that the media has this fight at a 50-50 fight, and we're saying Brian Norman hasn't done anything.
Yeah, you don't trash your opponent like that.
Hear me out.
You're trashing your fight.
So hear me out. So when you look at how did we get here? And you always hear me say this. How do we get here? It's taking a trip and then asking yourself that. Devin's last 3 fights hasn't shown us anything. You feel what I'm saying? So when you're coming up versus the guy with momentum, who's actually way more active than you, who's putting motherfuckers to sleep. At the end of the day, that's how you get this fight. You having the more accolade. You being the guy that cleaned up 35 and got rid of all the fuckery that was going on at 35. You feel what I'm saying? You being a multi-division champion. You're coming up facing a guy who's there right there. They say his biggest win is going over to Japan, but yet this is still a 50-50 fight. How did this happen to you, Devin Haney? And as a Devin Haney fan, if you can't ask yourself that question, you're a fucking fanboy. It's just that simple for me, because there should be no reason why, where the betting odds and everything else actually has this at a 50-50 fight. If you look at this thing on paper, it should at least be a 70-30 fight. But
can you reiterate the question? I'm not trying to be. Hold on. Can you just reiterate the question you were getting to? If you said if you can ask yourself that.
There wasn't a question.
You said if you can ask yourself something, then you a fanboy. What was the question?
Of asking yourself, how did we get here? For the guy with all the accolades, facing
the betting odds.
This guy right here that they say his biggest accomplishment was going overseas and knocking out a unknown Japanese fighter. How the fuck is this fight a 50-50 fucking fight then? Now that I'm seeing your ass. That if you can't ask
I'm gonna
yourself
respond like
as a
this.
Haney fan that question and be honest about it, then you might you might want to go look in the mirror and get some marker or something like that, maybe washable, and write "fanboy" on your forehead.
No, I understand what you're saying. It's a great question, but I'm from Cali, and shout out Easy, R.I.P. But I say that to say he founded it. They're at a crossroads. A long-winded way of saying that. Meet you at the crossroads. So one fighter is going to go up, and one fighter is going to go down.
You're missing the
I can't
point.
see any other way about it.
But
Maybe a
you're missing the
rematch,
point.
but I lean towards somebody gonna get it, man. Somebody gonna get it, and I can't wait.
You're missing the point as to why.
No, I understand what you're saying. How did he find himself in that position? Okay,
But this
cool.
could be a 50-50 fight against what they're trying to call a guy with no head movement, no ring IQ, only a one trick pony, no footwork. It's going to be a master class in boxing. Now it's going to be so bad that we giving this dude the name Debo Dev because he going to step over Brian Norman that motherfucking bad. But yet it's a 50-50 fight.
Absolutely, and again, I got bread on Norman. I'll tell you why. Because the same reason my head is with Norman, but my heart is with Haney, because he has got unfairly hated on, and public perception plays into the betting odds. You feel me? So he recently hasn't looked his best. I do want to address, I remember what came back to mind, what Body was saying about his last performance against Ramirez. Again, he did his fucking part to preserve the rematch. Ryan is the one who fucking lost, so I don't want to hear shit. I think he just went out of his way. No, it wasn't impressive. I don't think he was trying to be impressive. I think he was saying, I have to win this match, and then next time I can put on. So we're seeing that, right? Because he's taking on a big challenge. Ryan fumbled the bag, but he's taking on the next best thing. They're arguably a bigger challenge, I would say. So
CJ,
I don't understand the hate that Devin is getting, but no, you're absolutely right. Hold on. It is fucked up that he found himself in this position. I would agree with that but it's for those reasons. You feel me? The Ryan PED performance, and then arguably quote unquote running, as my man on the panel would say. Oh, he's not here anymore. Yeah, but doing this part to preserve the rematch. Y'all got it. I'll pass the mic.
Thanks, Project Bimmers, man. I appreciate that, man. This is how we do it, man. We talk about real boxing talk, man. We bringing that back. You know, this is what we've been doing. But this is what I want to ask you, CJ, because I want to address everything. I want to make sure I'm thorough in my approach, right? Because we walked away with more questions from Jose Ramirez, right? I was one of the only ones.
Absolutely. I will agree with that. Go ahead.
So I was one of the only ones that was saying, come on, man, don't Jose Ramirez, man, come on, bro. Like, nobody don't want to see that. Like, it was me and a guy like Gay Rosado was basically saying he was pretty much gaslighting, saying, oh, that's a very dangerous guy because he's a two-time champion. I'm like, man, come on, bro. Because think about it. Jose Ramirez just got washed by Barbosa. Like the fight before. So this is one, because I follow the bouncing ball all along. I follow it. So a lot of the times when Devin show up and he show out, like just like with Zarilla right before Regis. Regis looked terrible, got dropped twice by Zarilla before. The fight right before. Gamboa, he got dropped and got his Achilles popped, and he got stopped by Tank right before. Jose Ramirez got washed by Arnold Barboza. And so while everybody else is a fan of his, just want to see the rematch. We all wanted to see the rematch. We all had questions. Okay, well, was it the Oster ring? We know, it's like some of us be like, man, come on, man. Like, okay, cool. We'll give you the mulligan. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Because he shouldn't have had it mulligan. Point blank period. So you get the mulligan. It's off your record. But it's just like in court, when you hear something in court and they be like, restriction, Your Honor, the jury still
You can't unhear it. God damn, man, I
You
hate
know what I'm
that
saying?
shit.
So we give you a mulligan. We gonna say, all right, Your Honor, you got it, right? But we do know that Honor Barbosa washed Jose Ramirez, and so even though your objective was just to get the dub, right, and get on to the rematch, that's your objective. Cool, you completed that mission, but you can't tell us it's levels when you go in there with that level of threat and Jose Ramirez, and you don't impose your will because you're supposed to be levels. You're not supposed to be doing shit just to skate by and slide. You're supposed to be better than Floyd. Now you calling yourself, after that, you calling yourself Debo. Why didn't you make him tuck his chain in?
Let me say this. I'm glad you brought that up. I know you're trying to sign off.
Huh?
Said I know you're trying to sign off, but I want to address what you just said directly.
But hold on, let me cap it off. You be very clear because I don't want you to typewrite on me.
It's your shit.
I don't want you to do the typewrite on me. We know, we seen. I was questioning Jose. I said I didn't want to see the Jose Ramirez, but I say, listen, he want to get back, get his feet wet. I didn't know he was gonna get in there like Flash Gordon and run around the ring. I think that sports science guy said he ran like 12 miles that fight.
Bro. Okay.
So I'm like,
I'll be brief.
You fought like that, if that was your last performance, because we always go by last performance. If you fought like that against Jose Ramirez, who they already know was drinking, and he got washed by Honor Barbosa, where's all this confidence going in where you're going up against a natural one, a natural welterweight? And now he got two good hands, where before the last three fights, he didn't have two good hands. Now, for the last three fights, he didn't have two good hands. Like, where's this confidence coming from? And like, how do we put faith in you that you're not going to do the same thing that you did against Jose Ramirez, who, again, I say got washed by Honor Barbosa? So that's clear. That's my question. That's why I wanted to be clear, CJ.
No, you got it, champ. I don't think you didn't anticipate the response I'm going to give you. I feel you to a degree based on recent performance. No, he's flexing, right? You could say that. However, I'm gonna put it like this: a man of science. The sample size is not large enough. I study statistics. The sample size is not large enough to determine. Again, I'll reiterate, he did whatever the fuck he had to do to preserve the Ryan rematch by any means necessary. He wasn't trying to be impressive, none of that shit. He didn't give a fuck what none of us thought. He said, I'm gonna win this fight and I'm gonna move on. Ryan fucked up after that, and that's it. So, again, too small of a sample size to determine that that's just his approach. Oh, he got PTSD because Ryan was on steroids. I'm so tired of that fucking narrative, man. And I say that to say this, y'all putting too much sauce on it, man. I don't understand. Yo, if he loses this Saturday and he looks fucked up like he's scared, I'm with y'all. But I think we need more information. We need more data. That's all I'm saying. Y'all got it.
No, I was just gonna say, listen, I hear you on those points. You feel what I'm saying, and this is why we're ultimately leaving it to the actual performance. But I am strong in my convictions, and the scenarios that I think are gonna happen. They may not. I know for a fact they're not gonna happen the way I say it. But when I look at many of the flaws of Devin Haney, and I'm not even going to the last fight. I can go all the way back to Zora Abdullaev. I have not seen Devin Haney progress since that Zora Abdullaev fight, because after that fight, it was the type of talent that everyone is criticizing him about. You caught everybody at the right time, and everybody knows in boxing and many business ventures, it's all about timing. When you choose to strike. And when you choose to strike, if a person is extremely vulnerable, like playing chess, if someone has a weak pawn on the board or rook, I'm going to take that shit, because I know you're going to need that shit later on. And it gives me more steps to checkmating you. So what I'm saying is Devin moved in that manner. It's the same way AJ moved in his run for to get to snatch all of those 3 belts. You feel what I'm saying? So for me, bro, I'm just like this. If this was Barrios, I would have Devin. If this was probably, Lewis Crockett, I would have Devin. You feel what I'm saying? If this was Rowley, I would probably be leaning more towards Devin. But against Brian Norman, who's shown me a different level of everything, you can see the natural progression, and it's damn near so far a 300% approval. Like, it's approved by 300% because once his hands were fixed, he went on an impressive knockout streak where he's out boxing dudes and then knocking you the fuck out. So at the end of the day, bro, I don't see that with Devin Haney. And I can go back 5-6 fights for him. He didn't bring out any wrinkles when he fought Kambosos the first time because we already knew he had a monster jab. He didn't bring out any wrinkles when he fought him the second time because you didn't stop him. You just outboxed him using a simple 1-2 and some combinations. Richardson Hitchens showed you how you should have beat George Kambosos' ass with straight up body attacks. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I didn't see any improvement in there. When he was fighting Loma, if the fight was a 15-round fight, he would have lost that fight. Because at the end of the day,
don't put too much sauce on it. It was a 12-round fight. Don't go back to the 80s. Nope.
At the end of the day, when it came down to a certain point when Loma decided to bring it to him, put it to him, his dad didn't know how to coach him out of that. He goes back to his corner and said, "Dad, he figured me out. What do I do?" His dad told him, "Go back in there." You didn't give him any strategic game plan to whatever.
Go back in there.
You were still susceptible to the same punch that almost got you stopped in the 10th. In the 11th round, it's just Loma took off the 12th round. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, bro, I'm saying it like this. Have I seen a progression in Devin Haney? Who did I see gives me more of an inclination that they're improving, they're taking the craft more serious? That's Brian Norman. So
okay,
that's where I'm at. If it was anybody else at 47, I'm telling you, I'd pick Dev. But going up against that guy and you still don't know who you are, because your talent will carry you over those guys, even though you don't know who you are. But your talent will carry over those guys. It's not going to work with this guy because he's 100% sure of who he is and he was raised like that.
Damn, dude. I mean, again, that's where my brother's at. I mean, I don't got it. Yeah, good points. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm working on actually trying to get him on the channel. I got certain connections that might allow that to happen, but no, those are excellent points. And again, I'll lean Norman. That's where I put my money at. That's what matters. So, same man.
Well, CJ, I just want to say, man, I know, I kind of gotta ruffle your feathers a little bit. I gotta give you a hard time because I know deep down inside you just being a homer, which is cool.
No,
you know what I'm saying.
I'm not. I don't do that.
We gotta send you through the ring.
Paint a narrative. I respect it. No, okay, that's good content strategy, but that ain't me.
But yeah, I mean,
content strategy ain't me.
Respect for jumping up here and holding.
Why would I put my bread? Hold on. Okay, thank you for having me up here. But why would I put my bread behind Norman if I'm being a homer? You got to answer that. Exactly. Salute. Appreciate you.
But, hey, hopefully you get through what you're going through, man. Hopefully you was able to
get on some real shit. Yeah, man. It's fun.
Yeah. Hopefully you had some fun up here tonight. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's
I
all
did.
about.
It's a little relief. I do. No, for real. Not to interrupt you, but I do appreciate it. It's a little relief because shit is real. Shit is real, man.
Well, keep your head up, man. We all go through stuff, man, and you know what I'm saying, to the next one, brother. But keep your head up, bro.
Yeah.
Salute. Thank you.
All right, man. Salute.
One.
Yeah, this
All
was
right, AC man. Hey man, we had turbulence, but you know what I'm saying? You got, one of the best co-pilots in the world out here, you know what I'm saying, holding it down. You know, we do this thing, you know what I'm saying? How you want to land the plane, brother?
I'm gonna say it like this: I have no issues with anybody choosing Devin Haney. Um, like I said, on paper, this fight would probably show as a 70-30 fight. But the reality is we're looking at a 50-50 fight. And how we got here to a 50-50 fight falls solely on the guy called Devin Haney. You feel what I'm saying? Because your last fight left us with more questions than answers. You know what I'm saying? It left us saying, okay, you might need another fight before you actually try to make that move to 54. You feel, I mean, to 47. So I have no issues. I would just love if people would just, if you're gonna tell me you're a Devin Haney fan, then speak to me honestly like a Devin Haney fan. You feel what I'm saying? Because other than that, like I said, I gave a scenario, and I said if you can ask yourself this question, then if you can't ask yourself this question, then you might be a fanboy. So if that's the case, we had this discussion before that there are different levels to fans, to where people call themselves a fan. I'm not on that next level of being a Devin Haney fan. Although, I've always been a solid fan of his, and I used to use his name to troll at times and things like that, if people, really knew me like that. But at the end of the day, I knew what fighters from the beginning of looking at Dev can beat him and what fighters can't beat him. And I see how they made Devin Haney, whereas he was maximizing off of every opportunity that his team put him in. You were supposed to beat those guys, like he tried to say Brian Norman was supposed to. You were supposed to beat those guys when you fought them. The skill set that you have, the size that you have, the amount of weight that you were cutting and then that you could rehydrate and bounce back off of, you were supposed to beat those guys. It wasn't a type of situation for those of us who are Devin Haney fans who said, yeah, nah, he's not going to win this fight. But for me, being a guy on the opposite side, it can't be that good dilemma to whereas Body was talking about it earlier to say, listen, David Benavidez is highly respected because he keeps putting himself in fights and wants to go in directions to where it's like, I don't know if he beats this guy. That should be a good thing when you're talking about your favorite fighter. On either side, whether it's his opponent, whether it's the guy. The opponent needs the credit too because he's taking the fight with the guy that everybody's saying he's going to beat his ass. So give Brian Norman his respect because they both are getting in the ring. And at the end of the day, I can talk as much as give you my opinion all day long based on how much as I've been a fan. But I don't know what the fuck's going to happen on fight night.
Right.
So that's where I keep it, and that's where I land my plane, bro.
Good cook as always, man. You definitely held it down, boy. I be listening to the playback sometimes, and Drews be getting dropped. Drews droppeth on a regular basis. I appreciate you, man. Enjoy the rest of your evening, AC.
Yeah, you too, bro. Great cut,
right,
great
bro.
show today.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah, man. Ultimately, we got down to the topic. I think we did justice. We had an abundance of Devin fans, and it shows that he has a strong fan base. The odds are 50-50, and we all can assume what we think gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? A line in the sand was drawn. I have the conclusion that that I'm coming to. You know what I'm saying? We just a couple wake ups away from actually seeing it. And again, I gotta salute Turkey for the card, but at the end of the day, we can think everything we want to think. Like AC said, they still gotta fight the fights. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's a good dilemma to have, to where if the odds are saying that, How often do we get fights to where we already know exactly what's gonna happen? This one we can believe, and I'm pretty sure I think I know, but that's just a I think and I know. That's just a hypothesis, but they still have to fight the fight. Big bright lights can come on. Some people cave in under pressure. The amount of eyeballs that's going to be watching this fight, you know, objects do perform differently when they are being observed. We know that that's scientifically proven. So the more eyeballs that are on this fight, it could change certain dynamics of the fight. You know, we're going to continue to watch it. You know, I think we have some fun, but this is how we get down. We have straight up boxing talk. We have thick skin. We put everybody on the scale. You know what I'm saying? This is fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. This is fact-based content, not opinion-based, even though we have ours. Hopefully you was able to put something in your rucksack and march on. Silence is consent is the channel, meaning that all it takes for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent. So we speak to those things. We talk to those things that's out here. This is the pulse of boxing. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you're listening to the playback, talk to me, holler at me. I'll talk back. Leave a comment section. The Cash App works. The Super Chat works. Hit us up. Don't just pay for the content. You know what I'm saying? Like, show your appreciation with a like, with a comment, with a share. You know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody who came through. Salute to Johnny for being a brand new papa. 8 pounds, boy. I'm like, good gracious, that's a big boy. You know what I'm saying? But salute to Melazar for stopping by, one of my day ones. Salute to Aaron Jones. Salute to CJ Rich, Project Bimmers, AC, Cookie Monster, Easily Baked, the whole clique, man. We had a good time, man. This is how boxing should be, man. It's fun. There's too much crazy stuff going out in the world. When we come here, we just want to talk that good old boxing talk and have a good old time. You know what I'm saying? But I think we'll probably go live probably 1 or 2 more times before the fight, you know, and you know what I'm saying, just get our little talk on, you know, depending on where it leads us, where the sport leads us. But that's all I had, man. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. Well, we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.